The team is, I have the feeling, the last 3, 4, 5 games starts getting better, and I'll prepare the last game in Champions League group stage and the rest of the game.
Phillips comes away with the ball, and that's a very good ball into Patrick Bamford. He goes round to the penalty area, has a look up, and there is goal number 3. And Chelsea finish it off, and they finish it off in style with a goal from Pulisic.
Yeah, very, very happy. Probably will be short-lived with tomorrow, and that's how Neuer sounded a lot more than that. And I'm pleased. The performance was great. Leeds are a tough team. You can't have a comfortable game against Leeds. They don't allow it. But it would have been comfortable if we'd have taken our chances, and fans hopefully go home happy.
The return of football fans into the stadium after what has been a torrid year under COVID-19. But I'm joined by Paul Mortimer. Paul, some good results yesterday. Burnley, Everton, 1 apiece. Dominic Calvert-Lewin popping in his 11th of the season. Raheem Sterling scoring 1 and getting the penalty, the 20th he's won in the Premier League. Manchester United, their comeback against West Ham in the first 45. It didn't look as though it was coming. Yeah. Chelsea Leeds, all there for you to pick your way through, sir.
I like Chelsea. I've got to say, I'm really always impressed with Chelsea. I think they're a good side, play good football. Still conceding goals. I think there's a soft centre there, without a doubt. There's a slight soft centre there. Man City, Fulham. I think that game was over very, very early. West Ham, Man United. I felt sorry for West Ham, because, the goal that changed everything, the ball had gone out of play, and I felt really, you can't fault the other goals and the changes they made at half-time, Manchester United, but, goals change games, and that goal did change the game. Everton, I just think they should be better, and Burnley look like they're coming back to the Burnley we know and love. So, there's a lot of different games, I've got to say. Were the results what I expected? I would say at the start of the day, I would have said, had this, and I'd have thought it would go like this, it wouldn't have been a surprise to me.
Massive day today as well, isn't it? We've got the North London derby bragging rights about to come out in the wonderful new ground down at White Hart Lane. 60,000 seats and 2,000 people going to be in there. As a player, we've spoke about behind closed doors friendlies, we spoke about different things, but 2,000, will it make that much of a difference?
Yes, most definitely it will. If you look at, I'm an ex-Charlton player. In midweek they had, I think they're one of the first games that had fans there, and there's everyone forgets the emotional aspect. There was such a big build-up to it all that there was a flat performance. I think even Lee Bowyer came out and sort of criticised the fans a little bit, didn't backtrack, but there's an expectation. The Spurs fans will be going there expecting the team to win because we're back. Now, if it doesn't turn out that way, the grumbles that you hear from the fans can also, have a negative impact on the team. So I'd rather have them in. Also, if you look at referees all of a sudden, the referees have loved it because there's been no fans to put them under pressure. All of a sudden, fans are back. Now the decisions become hot, very, very hot topic immediately, because now you get an immediate response from the crowd, which they've not had for 6 or 7 months.
I tell you what, you just loved it because I used to sing your name when you were flying. That's why you loved it. One thing we can say today, Paul, is there's no fans at the Hawthorns because it's in Tier 3. Yes. So it's going back to the normal sort of routine here at the Hawthorns. But Jose Mourinho, or should I say, Jose Mourinho's been having his say on what having the fans back in the stadium means.
Depends on the fans, depends on the profile, depends on the way people will face the game. Do they want to go to the most beautiful stadium in England and enjoy that, or do they want to go and play the game? If they want to enjoy the stadium and their passion for football, I don't think makes a big difference. If they want to go there and play, if they want to go there and wear a Tottenham shirt and play the game, that yes, I think that can give a little bit more of motivation and pleasure for us.
back here at the Hawthorns. We are ready, really, for a game that is a massive game in the context of the Premier League. These two sides, it's safe to say, are not going to win the Premier League title. I'm joined alongside me by Paul Mortimer. Before we hear from the managers, Paul, you've had a chance to digest the lineups. You say that under Roy Hodgson they're sort of handbrake off and going for it, but Slaven Bilic has made a few changes as well.
Yeah, he has. There's absolutely no disputing that. And to be honest, he's had to. I don't think, clearly he's not got the resources to be able to bring players in. He can chop and change his squad, but it is very much a very strong championship squad. That's what it is. But let's not kid ourselves. Yes, he's got some experience in people like Ivanovic. Bartley has been around. Diangana's a good player. Sawyers is decent. Conor Gallagher is a good player. But what links most of them, Ivanovic out of it, none of them have really been tested or regulars in Premier League football. So they're finding their feet. They may well be experienced players, but they're finding their feet at this level. And they've been okay. They've been okay, but they find themselves third from bottom with 6 points from 10 games, and that's not really going to be good enough. So they have to now start winning games. They have to start winning games, because if you consider after this, they've got Newcastle, they've got Man City and Liverpool, as well as Aston Villa. So, in Man City, Villa and Liverpool, they've got 3 teams that are flying. So when they look at their cycle of games, this and the Newcastle games are one that, hand on heart, they'd be expecting to get something out of. That's why this one, being the first one, is of paramount importance, that they get at least a point from this.
Right, there we are, Paul Mortimer. Let's run through the lineups for you today. Sam Johnson in goal for West Bromwich Albion, a back three. Kyle Bartley, the captain, on the left of a back three. Branislav Ivanovic in the centre. Semi Ajayi on the right. Then I believe they're going to go with 4 across the middle of the park. It could be Grady Diangana on the left. He wears number 11, good old-fashioned number 11. Raymond Sawyers, Conor Gallagher, and of course it is Conor Gallagher. Yeah, just double-checking there. And Darnell Furlong on the right. Mateus Pereira, the little number 10, playing in behind Matt Phillips and Callum Grant at the top of the park. For Crystal Palace in goal, it's Vincent Gaeta, a back 4 from right to left of Nathaniel Klein, Czech Kouyaté, Gary Cahill and Patrick Van Arnholt. 2 holding midfielders, it's James MacArthur, and welcoming back after suspension, Luka Milivojevic, and then I believe it's 3 that will sit behind Christian Benteke, who's recalled to the top of the park for Crystal Palace, and that'll be Iberechi Eze, Jeffrey Slubb and Wilfried Zaha. They've always sort of flattered for me. They've always flattered to deceive.
No, that was many moons ago as well. It's good to see him back. He's got a lot to prove, without a doubt. There was a spell at Aston Villa, he was unplayable at his best. You just could not get near him. He was magnificent. Haven't really seen that, because what's happened to him at Palace is he hasn't really done what big men do. He hasn't knocked players about. He hasn't been dominant in the air. He hasn't held the ball up. And that's about confidence. Confidence is a huge part of the game. But they've got him back. They've got belief in him. And hopefully they can serve him with some good crosses into the box for him to attack.
He was, I remember Fernando Morientes went to Liverpool. He had a scoring record second to none all over Europe. Got to Liverpool, couldn't hit a barn door with a banjo, could he? It doesn't always work out. Some clubs are not the right fit, are they?
No, you're right. You're right. And I mean, what happened with him at Palace was, he's gone there expecting crosses in the box, and what they started to do was play inverted wide men. So the left-footed Townsend was playing on the right, the right-footed Zaha was playing on the left, so they kept cutting in. So they never crossed balls for Benteke to head into the to attack. So his real prowess, where he was dangerous, was never really used. So I don't think they served him right either. I really don't.
The words, the flying winger, Paul Mortimer, who would have sent in cross after cross after cross. How good were you in your own mind?
I was world class in my own mind, but you know what? It's not my mind that matters. It's the manager's mind and my teammates' mind. But yeah, I mean, listen, when you play wide, back in the day, wide men took players on, put the ball in the box. What's happening now is, there's this playing one up front and the inverted wide players. So as a left foot player on the right, Andros Townsend, not proficient on his right foot, so he'll cut inside. So the ball into the box is completely different for Benteke to attack, and also he doesn't know when the ball's going to go in the box, so he doesn't know whether to really go and make a run, or he's making 5 or 6 or 7 runs, never getting the ball. You lose faith, you stop making runs, and then the ball does come in the box and everyone says, oh, you're on your heels. So play away to serve the big man up front, or don't play with a big man.
There we are, wise words. I was still going to ask him what song they used to sing to him when he was flying down. Anyway, let's get into today's game. It is Slaven Bilic versus Roy Hodgson in the dugouts. Let's hear from the two managers.
Not at the moment. I would like few of our clubs to join our group of 4 or whatever, or 4 is now, not even 5, or from us to go to leave that group, but at the moment, okay, they lost 3 games for nobody. Even if you are top, even when you are top of the table and you have a big gap, if you lose a couple of games or 3 games, it's not good. It's not good. Nobody likes losing, and every defeat affects something, even the one in training, but still they are not there. Still, they are quite comfortable, but it can change.
Both clubs were very good for me, good to me, gave me great support. I was lucky to find excellent people there, not just on the playing field, but also behind the scenes. And of course, in both clubs, I was well received by the fans. They made my life there very pleasant. So you're quite right. So I was pleased to see both teams come up into the Premier League again, but now of course I won't be that pleased to see them beat us, so I've got to hope that we can get good results against them and that they will survive by getting points from other clubs and not the one I'm working with.
The clean sheet with 3 points, the most with number of shots we have, with that psychological momentum that we finally got that win. Of course, it's great. It's great. It was a big boost for us. We waited for quite a long time, 10 games. We done it against the team who is around us. We done it against a very good team.
It's good that we've kicked off with this relatively small number of fans, and it must be very difficult for the clubs to allocate the tickets, and I know that that's going to cause a lot of headaches, and there's going to be a lot of disappointed fans because a lot more than 2,000 want to come to the games, but it's a good step in the right direction, and the fact that there will be people there live watching us play is going to make a big difference to everyone, I'm sure. Roll on the day when even more can come.
Well, reflecting there, Roy Hodgson, the former West Bromwich Albion manager, I've got to say, went off to manage England after that, and at 73 years of age and still managing and still with that steely determination. He's up there with sort of Sir Bobby Robson, Paul, as having football in his veins.
Yes, I wonder what he'll do if he'll ever retire. He's a football man, it's in his blood. Good coach, you remember he's 20, 30 odd years as a coach all over the world, so he's fantastic pedigree, knows his stuff, and at the moment, he's got Palace playing good football, but can they do it today? That's going to be the challenge for him. Yeah, big challenge for him. Don't forget, we're the start of a 4-timer on this Sunday, December the 6th. West Brom Crystal Palace coming up shortly. Sheffield United Leicester at 2:15 with Alex Crook and Dean Hammond. Tottenham Arsenal with Tim Long and Kevin Watson, and then finishing the day, Liverpool Wolves at the top of the bill, Tom Rennie and David Connolly. But we are preparing ourselves, as I say, for the game that is about to unfold in front of us, and just, I would say, no more than a few moments away. We've seen the size, we've heard from the managers, and we've heard from the expert today, the legendary Charlton and Palace winger Paul Mortimer. But for now, all I can say is let's hope that it lives up to Saturday's football action. We're kicking it off in style very shortly. You are listening to Premier League Live.
Get ready and hold on tight, because the Premier League is here! Which teams will stay on track, and who'll go off the rail? Get the Irish Sun for top transfer news, exclusive star interviews, and opinions from the biggest names in football, plus expert analysis of every action-packed match in our fantastic goals pull-out each weekend. Stay up to speed, because you never know what the Premier League is going to throw up. Pick up the Irish Sun today.
Introducing Guardson Sport. Protect your sporting equipment from COVID-19 for up to 14 days with Guardson Sport disinfectant treatment. Ideal in team sports settings with the sharing of balls, rackets, gloves, helmets, and all other sporting equipment. Guardson Sport kills COVID-19 on impact, keeping surfaces free from COVID-19 and other viruses and bacteria for up to 14 days by creating a protective polymer layer on application. For more information on Guardson Sport and other quality assured, certified and approved PPE, visit yourcovidprotection.com.
Create the Premier League atmosphere at home with Harvey Norman, the home of the big screen. Feel like you're on the pitch with our stunning range of 4K smart LED and OLED TVs from LG, starting from just $449. Plus, hear every kick, save, tackle, decision with LG's best-in-class soundbars. Get TV ready for all the big games with Harvey Norman. Shop online today or safely at our spacious stores. Harvey Norman, home of the big screen.
Let's talk about you looking after your business. Ford, looking after your vehicle. Let's talk hassle-free Ford leasing. Just a fixed monthly payment, no motor tax to deal with, and no maintenance or servicing to pay on selected plans. Get the all-new Ford Kuga from €425 per month. Hassle-free Ford lease. Now we're talking. Search Ford lease or text Ford to 50015 to speak to us about leasing your next vehicle.
Text cost to standard rate. Price quoted for a Kuga Titanium with no maintenance over 4 years with 3 monthly rentals in advance. 20,000 kilometers per annum. Business users only. Price excludes VAT. Ford Lease is provided by Marion Fleet Management, trading as Ford Lease.
123ink.ie for all your home office needs, including printers, ink, toners, paper, label markers, binders, pens, pins, batteries, boxes, chalk, compass, files, memory sticks, highlighters, glue, notepads, Whoa! And we're cheaper than your current supplier. 123ink.ie for home, for office, for less.
At Paddy Power, we know competition for the remote control can be fierce at the weekends. So in order to give the non-football loving occupants of your house something to do, here are some of our top suggestions. Walk the dog. Cycle the dog. Recycle the dog. Just go! All very good options, we say. And that's not the only one. If one leg of your 4+ fold ACCA lets you down, get a free bet on all football leagues and markets. Paddy Power. Max free bet €10. Min odds 1 to 5 on each leg. Online exclusive. Excludes shop bets. T's and C's apply. 18+. Need help? Visit gamblingcare.ie.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of West Bromwich Albion against Crystal Palace here from the Hawthorns. I'm your host, Andrew Self. Alongside me is the former Crystal Palace, Aston Villa and Charlton winger Paul Mortimer. This is Premier League Live. Well, after their first victory of the season over Sheffield United in the Premier League last time out, Slaven Bilic has made a couple of changes. He lines up today with Sam Johnston in goal, a back three which will remain the same of Semi Ajayi, Branislav Ivanovic and Kyle Bartley, who is the captain. Then it really is 4 across the middle of the park. On the right-hand side, it'll be Darnell Furlong, Connor Townsend and Roman Sawyer in the engine room, Grady Diangana on the left-hand side. They'll hold with the little Brazilian, Mateus Pereira, in behind. Carlin Grant and Matt Phillips at the top of the park. For Roy Hodgson's side, well, they do welcome back talismanic Wilfried Zaha after he missed out on the last 2 Premier League defeats after testing positive with COVID-19. And in both games, they had the most possession, but didn't score a goal. They line up as follows. Vincent Gaeta is in goal, a back 4 from left to right of Patrick Van Arnholt, Gary Cahill, Chet Kouyaté, Nathaniel Klein is right back, Kouyaté dropping into the centre-half position as Scott Dan is not available today. 2 holding midfielders, James MacArthur, and welcome back Luka Milivojevic, who scored a lot of penalties for Crystal Palace as well. They will then have 3 in behind the man at the top that spearheads their attack in Christian Benteke, and that'll be Wilfried Zaha, Jeffrey Schlupp and Iberechi Eze. Looking good already, all sorted out. Never want to do anything to my wonderful, wonderful co-commentator. What's the score before?
I really don't think it will be 0-0. I have to say, two teams who want to go forward, want to pass the ball about, will leave gaps to be exploited. Are both teams going to be good enough, consistent enough in defence, but also I I suppose, expansive enough and confident enough and dangerous enough going forward.
Don't forget, you can contact myself or Paul, and the way to do that at TalkSport Live. We've had one in from Miracle 16905811. He's come in with that one. That's a great handle, I must admit. A lot of numbers in there. West Brom 1, Palace 2, he says. Referee today is Paul Tierney of Lancashire. He's assisted by Harry Leonard and Ian Husson. Fourth official is Darren England, and the VAR is in the hands of Michael Oliver. Always this first moment, I feel at the start of a game and the first set piece are so important, how you defend it or how you attack it and how you get those first moments on the ball, Paul.
Hugely important. On the front foot, or are you going to be on the back foot? That's the important thing. As the home side, it's almost your responsibility to actually step forward.
Indeed, the players take the knee, which is been something that has caused a lot of controversy from a certain section, but I'm not going there. And the ball starts. It's West Bromwich Albion. Dark blue and white striped shirts, dark blue socks and white shorts. They are attacking the goal away to my right hand side at the Hawthorns here, very much in the similar position to the camera gantry, which is just below our feet. So if you can imagine televisual pictures in your mind's eye as I describe it, it is Palace in their red and blue stripes, blue shorts and white socks. They'll be attacking the goal away to my right hand side in this first half. Gary Cahill battling hard down in the corner straight away, but it's going to be a throw to West Bromwich Albion. Taken quickly and thrown in there. Chance now for them to try and get in the far corner, but they won't get down in the far corner as Darnell Furlong was just ushered out of the way, and it's going to be a goal kick straight away. When I often spoke to managers back in the day, and when they were playing lower league football, Paul, and they used to say, like, I remember, I won't name him, ex-Northampton fullback. He said, I play really well when I'm in front of the gaffer. He said, when I'm on the other side, I'm not so good. On a day like today, you're going to hear everything that the coaching staff are saying.
It can be distracting sometimes. I always look at the managers. I look at Mikel Arteta at the moment and Pep Guardiola, and everyone loves them, but the constant shouting would be somewhat of a distraction. And also, I look at it this way: your work's done in the middle of the week. Now you've got to trust the players to get on with it. If there are fundamental things going wrong, I understand the shouting, but that apart, you have to be able to trust the players to get on with it. And the constant shouting, all it would do is for me, it would just distract me. And that's why players want fans back.
To give them the burden to stop being distracted by the manager who wants you 10 yards forward, then 3 yards back, and everything else.
The thing about it is, Andrew, when there's 25,000 fans in, I can't work out why a manager shouted to someone 30 yards away. He's never going to hear it. Never going to hear it. And players love that, because they'll be going, sorry, pardon. But you see, now with no fans, there is no excuse, none whatsoever.
Back to the football. Aziz listening from Riyadh, hoping for a 0-0. That would do wonders for his Premier League fantasy side. Have a word, Aziz. We want goals. Francis Furr goes for a 2-0 to West Bromwich Albion. The ball is currently in the middle of the park, in the middle of the Palace half, with Conor Gallagher, who just lays it infield but misses his man, and it's picked up nicely and driving forward for Crystal Palace. Up to Wilfred Zaha. He just holds the ball, rolls it back now to Gary Cahill, midway inside his own half, away to my left, squares it to Kouyaté. Kouyaté, straight ball forward into the feet of Schlupp. Schlupp exchanges passes with James MacArthur. Palace midway inside the West Brom half, over on their right hand side. Ball is being played this way and that. Schlupp, little turn, lovely little turn as well. Gets him away, drives there towards the West Bromwich Albion penalty area, into the feet of Zaha. Lovely turn on the edge of the box. First time shot just over the top. That's what Wilfred Zaha gives you. Dragged it in as the ball came across his right to his left, back to goal. Little flick round the corner and fired a shot just over the bar. Nice stuff there from Crystal Palace.
Well, lovely driving run from Jeffrey Schlupp, who was fouled. Ref played advantage. Zaha turns beautifully in the box and just fires a shot that touches the side netting, but it's a good start from Palace.
It's a very nice driving run. Sometimes we forget just what Jeffrey Schlupp can bring to this side, given a little bit of freedom, a little bit of licence to pick the ball up and take it, transition it from, say, a deep line midfielder to the forward line, and that was a lovely driving run by him.
You know, Andrew, that's the difference, as you've just said. You know, you look at someone like Jeffrey Schlupp, and the words you use, given licence, it's almost like he has, Roy Hodgson, given his players licence to actually go out and express themselves. That wasn't happening last season. They weren't allowed to do that. Now they have permission. You can see Jeffrey Schlupp there very early on driving at the game.
Klein goes long. Benteke is trying to get in behind Bartley on the far side. The two of them come together, and Bartley ends up on the floor. And it sounds as though Benteke has been a little too physical with the challenge, and there should be a whistle. There was a whistle from Paul Tierney, who was in his 7th Premier League game of the season today. Issued quite a few yellows and 1 red in his first 6. He's wearing a nice yellow shirt with black shorts and black socks for anybody that likes to do that. We got Carol on here. Carol, nice to see you. Good morning. Here is a shot of the sunrise in Florida's Gulf Coast. Loving having you along for the early morning workout. Well, you'll always get a workout with Paul Mortz, that's what I'm saying. Johnston goes long, and it's into the Palace half. Klein gets it down on his chest. He's under a lot of pressure, but he's managed to squeeze it up to the halfway line. Ball goes back forward again towards the Palace penalty area, headed away. Gallagher gets it down, plays it back, and now Ivanovic 12 yards inside his own half. Short ball forward to Sawyers, back to Ivanovic, and now out to Kyle Bartley. Bartley 6 yards shy of the halfway line. He'll have to turn it infield and backwards towards his own goal to Ivanovic, who comes out on his near side to Semi Ajayi. Ajayi's little layoff. Plays it out to Darnell Furlong, into Sawyers, round the corner. West Bromwich Albion putting their foot on the football and starting to go, I would say, up the field slowly. And it's now with Kyle Bartley on the halfway line. Plays it out on that far side. Back inside to Roman Sawyers. Just a little bit of time here. Back into Gallagher. West Bromwich Albion liking to get a feel of the football. Opening rounds of this Premier League boxing match here between West Bromwich Albion and Crystal Palace. That is definitely just an analogy. A little sorting each other out, but a loose ball there from Semi Ajayi who picks up, and they come forward to Palace. Again, it's Schlupp that marries the two up into Sahar. Now to Iberechi Eze, who has to go back from the halfway line and played it all the way back and diagonal towards the edge of his penalty area to Klein, and Kouyaté now just exchange passes. It's about putting your foot on in the early stages, isn't it, Paul? It's about settling yourself down, getting a good first touch and getting the pace of everything.
Yeah, and getting as many people to have some sort of consistent touches on the ball. Without giving it away, which Palace just have. And it's maybe not about going anywhere, it's just about being able to ease your way in, and the best way to do that is by having as many touches on the ball as possible.
Sounds really bizarre to say. I remember a player at a club once upon a time, I could tell in the warm-up what sort of game he was going to have. If his touch was poor in the warm-up, he often had a poor game, but if it was like an exquisite touch the first thing he did in the warm-up, you could go on. It turned out to be a wonderful player as well, but he always needed to make sure that first touch got him mentally right, and that was in the warm-up.
Some people need things to go well for them to believe in themselves, to believe they can do it, whereas some, it's just the moment. For some players, it's just a moment. They get a good enough touch on the ball, and it gives them the confidence, and off they go. They're off and running. But you know, and that's why confidence is hugely important. And that's why lots of consecutive, consistent touches builds confidence in a team.
There we are. I've got Eric from Lagos on, expecting a few goals here, but whatever the full-time score is, I'm expecting Zaha to score for my fantasy Premier League football team, because it is literally bleeding. Don't understand that one, but the ball goes into the box with Zaha, cross it right across the face. It's 1-0. It's an own goal. An own goal, it looks as though to me, and it's come off Darnell Furlong. The ball was drilled in wide from Johnston's left-hand side. Darnell Furlong's tried to put it out for a corner, and the deflection seems to have taken it into the back of the net. Or is there a flag?
Check at the moment.
It looks as though Zaha is being judged for offside or a foul.
Well, that's never a foul, by the way. So I'm guessing it would be offside.
I'm telling you what, that's a little slide rule ball down the line, and it's a little coming together there on the far side that is between Mateus Pereira and Zahari. Flashes it across. It's a hell of a finish, I've got to say, as well, by Darnell Phillips.
Decent finish. I mean, it looks like it's been given. And what it is it's just falling asleep at a free kick. In fact, they're still waiting. When you're sitting in at a free kick, you've got to make sure you're sharp. That's when you come alive, and make sure that they don't play short, early free kicks. And he'll be fuming with that. I think it's been given.
Paul Tierney's had a few words, ripple of applause. What we have is Bernard Telles is on. Good afternoon, guys. I'm home for a West Brom win, listening from Lagos in Nigeria. And we've also got Say No to Racism, Dave _Giver or Guyver. Great to have Sahar back. He's excited to watch. I'm going for a 3-1 Palace win. Well, they're 1 goal up already. Final. Furlong, I should say. Own goal. Oh, he gives that one. Now we've got... you may well have just heard a voice from pitch side microphones there, because I take it it's come from the West Bromwich Albion bench as well, because there's been a coming together between Romain Sawyers and Wilfried Zaha, which Zaha's come away sort of holding his neck, and you just heard the voice saying he gave that one. Tensions running high already on in the technical areas.
Yeah, and you do have to have a little bit of a giggle about that, don't you, sometimes? Yeah,
you do. Because as soon as you're emotionally attached to a side, whether you work, play or support, it all feels, as soon as it starts going wrong, it all feels a little bit one-sided, doesn't it?
It does, yes, I agree.
There we go, another shout in as well. Francis Zaha coming back into the squad as a boost for Palace. Please help me tell him to come to where he will win the league and play Champions League. Arsenal, he's got #Arsenal. Well, I don't know if he'll fit in there. Nicolas Pepe's a pretty decent flying man.
Well, I mean, I think he's inconsistent.
Yeah, he did. I think he said that before. When he's good, and when he's not good, it's difficult. Anyway, back to the football. Gallagher down the line to Bartley. Bartley back to Gallagher, midway inside the Palace half. Gallagher cuts infield now. Little left to Sawyers, who stabs the ball back out to his left-hand side and finds Bartley. Bartley infield now, picked up and into the feet of Diangana. Little give and go on the edge of the box, and Grant it is that plays it back. West Bromwich Albion now looking to put the ball in. Nice dink ball in by Bartley. At the back post going up and heading high is the West Brom attacker. Couldn't see his number. Strange shirts for me and dodgy eyes. I am getting old. Ball breaks into the feet here of Mateus Pereira. He goes for a reverse ball into the Palace box, but it's cut out by Nathaniel Klein. He finds MacArthur. MacArthur up to Zaha, just shy of the centre circle on the Palace side. Back it goes to Klein. Klein, little layoff now to Jeffrey Schlupp, who is popping up just everywhere. He plays it into the man wearing short sleeves and gloves, which is Luka Milivojevic. He plays it back to the edge of his penalty area to Cahill. Cahill out to the left back, Patrick Van Aanholt. Down the line, Zaha's on the charge. Semi Ajayi gets across and clears it, but it's going to be a throw to Crystal Palace, 4 or 5 yards away from the corner flag, defended by the right side of West Bromwich Albion's defence. So a real chance for Palace to load the ball into the box again. Got another shout in, Idris Lee Khan. I'm listening from Ogun in Nigeria. I'm predicting a 2-2 draw with Eze scoring for Palace. Can't wait for Tottenham because I'm a Chelsea fan. He thinks they're going to get defeated up the Chelsea. There we are. He said my error in coming through. 2-0 to Palace today. Van Aanholt into Zaha, back out on this near side to Iberechi Eze. Plays it into the feet of Van Aanholt. Nice intricate play. Eze's got him behind Roman Sawyers, but he has to come out of the penalty area. He's going square across the penalty area. Sawyers switched off a touch there, but West Brom have smuggled the ball up now to Callum Grant. Callum Grant driving forward. Goes for the crossfield ball, but that's too long and too wayward and straight into the arms of Vincent Gaeta. Interesting there that West Brom picked off Palace, who got a little bit too intricate on the edge of the box. Yeah,
well, I mean, Iberechi Eze's in a decent position, just turns the wrong way. If he's sideways on, shoulder towards the goal, he could let it run, and he's got a shot at goal. But he's literally turned back to face his goal, and then pirouetted, and now the defender's got him, and they give the ball away. And very, very quickly, if Carlin Grant turns, plays that properly, Colin Gallagher has made a great run on the left-hand side and may well have been in, but it didn't happen.
It didn't happen, no. It was the right ball, wrong execution there. Hey guys, good to listen to you on this sunny Sunday afternoon here in Nigeria. Hoping Wilfried Zaha scores today. That is Kingsley Nwari. If I've got that right, I apologise, because I struggle with names like Smith. Ball is with Bartley. Bartley down the line on the far side. It's going to be played back to him as well by Phillips. Into the feet of Sawyers. Sawyers 8 yards shy of the halfway line. Straight ball through to the feet of Grant. Grant, little layoff, finds Grady Diangana. On the far side, little lift down the line for Phillips. Phillips is going to hook this back in. Great first time effort on the pirouette spin volley, if you could say that there from Mateus Pereira. Got a good connection, didn't he?
Yeah, good play from Romain Sawyers, in his own half. Good play all the way up the pitch, comes to Diangana. decent ball lofted on the left-hand side. Good volleyed pass by Matt Phillips with his left foot, and a great volley from Pereira that easily gobbled up by the keeper, but you can see how they attack.
Great technique.
Exactly, and how well they can play going forward, West Brom.
Ibarrechi Eze brought down by Grady Diangana in the middle of his own half. Patrick Van Arnholm just watch it. The game's set up now for Roy Hodgson's Crystal Palace. You know, they have won away from home twice this season already, and well, there's no way that Zaha's offside. Benteke is, but it must have just been the foul. We're just seeing a replay. That's the beauty for the Premier League. We do get replay monitors. It must have just been the coming together with Pereiras and Zaha,
which is never a foul. Pereiras, again, probably he's not a defender, so he's not got a defensive head on. He's not aware of Zaha, and no one's probably shouted him too late. And again, sometimes what players do is to try and con the ref. They fall over.
Yeah.
Didn't work that time because it was nowhere near a foul.
Gary Cahill, 6 yards outside his own penalty area, away to my right-hand side. Comes in field, let's go right-footed, 40 yards through the centre. Semi Ajayi tries to cushion a header down to Darnell Furlong.
And you know, they're the things that would irritate. Semi Ajayi, you're a defender. Head it away. Head it back up the pitch. You're trying to be clever there, and you're just giving the ball back to Palace in a decent area. Head it up the pitch. You're a defender. Defend first sometimes.
There we are, the words of Paul Mortimer. I said exactly the same yesterday for my side that I happened to be watching that conceded a goal. A centre forward's back in his own penalty area. He's headed it back to the edge of the box and it's been drilled in from 18 yards. When he's craned his neck to head it to the edge of the box, when he should have just played it the way he was facing. Yeah. And similar there, we got another shout. Top-notch commentaries courtesy of shout coming in from Akane Ezra Okpala. There we are. Nice to have you on. 2-1 win for Palace here. He's in Port Harcourt. Plenty of people enjoying us today as a ball breaks from Miller Bojevic, rolls it into the feet of Benteke, back to goal, 24 yards out, crossfield pass, Zaha on a volley. This time his technique's not so good, gets under it, puts it over the top of the crossbar, but Palace seem to be picking off West Brom at will here.
Yeah, you can see the problems that they have. Romain Sawyer's played a square ball to Conor Gallagher, who has tried to do a little bit too much and he's had it nicked off him, and straight away Palace are on attack. That on the right hand side, probably there's a different end result, but Zaha volleyed, back foot, left foot, very difficult for him to get any purchase on that, to put it on target. But you can see how, you know, the issues that West Brom have, especially passing the ball back in their own half.
Yeah. Phillips into Pereira. Pereira midway inside his own, the opposition half, I say, exchanges passes with Grady Diangana. Strong challenge by James MacArthur comes in. Jeff Schlupp picks it up. Then he's taken out just about 18 yards inside his own half. First yellow card of the game. Romain Sawyers made a vain attempt, and in fairness, it was a tackle that I'd have been proud of because I would have never got anywhere near the ball.
No, but then if you look at again West Ham, West Brom, it's in transition.
Yeah.
They give the ball away, and more often than not, Palace are off and running. And Romain Sawyers is a booking, because if he gets past Schlupp, he's through the midfield lines into the defence. And you can see, as I said before, where the gaps are to be exploited by Palace. West Brom's gaps. When they give the ball away, that transition, you know, they don't seem to react quickly enough to win the ball back.
I was interested. I'm going to ask you another question. I'm going to have a little think about it. But as the ball comes forward here with Kyle Bartley up towards the halfway line for West Bromwich Albion, attacking the goal away to the right, out to that touchline to Phillips. Phillips inside now to Conor Gallagher. Crossfield from left to right into the feet of Darnell Furlong. Back to Romain Sawyers. Good pressing by Crystal Palace, forced them back. Semi Ajayi into the feet of Pereira. Lovely play this time by West Bromwich Albion. Now down this right hand side to Grady Diangana. He dinks the ball deep in the far side, brought down on his chest, wide of the goal by Phillips. Tries to get it back to the edge of the box. That's good defensive work by Jeffrey Schlupp. Gallagher gets it round to Pereira. Pereira's inside penalty area. A little layoff now for Phillips to deliver a left foot cross. He stands it up. It's a little too long, but a great header thumped against the bar by Darnell Furlong. That could have been his second goal of the game.
Yeah, good patient play by West Brom. Took their time, got it wide. Good left foot cross from Matt Phillips. Took his time, steadied himself. And Darnell Furlong is not being marked at the back post. In fact, Van Arnold does not see him. Ibarrechi Eze isn't marking him. So it's literally a free header.
Shot comes in again from Callum Grant, and it's drilled from 24 yards into the midriff of Vincent Gaeta. Listening to you at the start of the game, you know, good player, this good player. This is about the West Bromwich Albion squad. But for the Premier League, is good enough? Or should they be like, no, he's a class act?
We'll know after the 37th game. but good isn't good enough. Good isn't good enough. Not individual games.
Yeah.
Consistently, if you're consistently 7 to 8 out of 10 over the season, that'll be enough to keep you up. But unfortunately, when you're down the bottom, there are far too many 4s and 5s out of 10s, which is what put you down the bottom.
Indeed, it's just a sort of world-class, international class and class act, and then good players coming under that in my sort of book, maybe. Jerome K _K, I should say, is on listening from Koforidua in Ghana. Loving your commentary. Hope for goals from IU and Slub. Sadly, IU is not starting in the starting 11 for Palace today. Palace lead by a own goal by Darnell Furlong, scored in the 8th minute, but it's Palace now with the ball, but they try and play it out, looking for the run there of Zaha. Romain Sawyers has taken a heavy touch and tried to keep it in play, and I think he's done so, Paul.
Yes. Yes is all I can say. I think it's probably better to leave it at that. There's nothing more to add.
No, that was sorry. You weren't expecting that. I was just adjusting things here. That's why I needed to throw to my pro. Long ball forward. Diangana's beaten in the air by Gary Cahill on the edge of the Palace box. MacArthur gets it back to Nathaniel Klein, who tries to play it down the line. It's blocked by Phillips and out for a throw to Crystal Palace. Palace now can play the perfect away performance, and West Bromwich Albion, as they possibly will do for 37 out of 37 games in the Premier League, have got to try and keep it tight and find a goal.
Yeah, that's what they've got to do. And sometimes it's about pressing the side and going and making them make mistakes when they're in possession, rather than actually, being proficient carving teams open yourself. But yeah, they've got to get the balance right between throwing people forward and making sure that their defence is well protected. And I think that's been an issue for them, which is why they find themselves where they are.
Semi Ajayi over the halfway line, faced up by Eze. Back he goes inside to Mateus Pereira, who's trying to pull strings, but dwells on the ball a little bit, and Palace are very much disciplined to get back in their shape. Romain Sawyers now tries to clip it up, headed away by Chet Kouyaté. James MacArthur gets the ball down, finds Ibrechi Eze, and Semi Ajayi decides that halfway at the back of the legs is enough to give away a free kick midway inside the Palace half, and Crystal Palace will set themselves again. 4 big games coming for you today. This is the first of a real big bill of football. Don't forget, after us, we're the aperitif, I suppose, really. You've got the winless Blades taking on the inconsistent Foxes, Sheffield United and Leicester from Bramall Lane with Alex Cook and Dean Hammond. After that, it is the bragging rights for North London up for grabs, where it's Jose Mourinho, Mikel, I can't believe that's real hair, Arteta. Their two sides going head to head, and it doesn't move, does it? It's a bit like Lego hair, isn't it? It's very much like that, And
you think he's bald underneath it, do you?
I reckon it could be a helmet. I don't know. I might be wrong.
You think he's got a comb over underneath that?
A bit like me, yeah. Top of the bill Sunday, it's champions Liverpool. Douglas attacking steel defensive tissue against Nuno Espiritu's Jimenez-less, I would say, Wolves, and also Diego Jota-less Wolves. So that is Tom, who's funnier than me, Rennie, and David Connolly. That is the final game. But back here, 1-0 Palace lead, 22 on the clock. Midway through the first half, West Bromwich Albion on the ball with Gallagher. Gallagher into the feet of Diangana. Diangana slides it into the feet, back to goal there of Callum Grant, whose first touch was a little heavy, but the referee, Paul Tierney of Lancashire, decides that there was a foul on Diangana on releasing the ball. So it's going to be a free kick to West Bromwich Albion. Set piece is going to play a big part, you feel?
Both sides have got decent size, but it's going to be about the quality of the delivery. We've been here so many times where we've thought, good delivery, they look like they can do the job, and then every single free kick doesn't miss out the first man. So it's going to be about the quality of the delivery, and we have no clue what that's going to be like. It's always somewhat disappointing in the Premier League sometimes. It's almost like they don't take it seriously enough, some of the clubs.
Pereira will take this. Gaeta looks out. It's just about 5 past the hour if it's the Pendleton Centre spot at 12 o'clock as Gaeta looks out to his right-hand side. Goal away to my right-hand side. Pereira, Palace and West Bromwich Albion on the 18-yard line. Darnell Furlong, oh, how he'd love to equalise his own goal. Ball in, right across the face of goal. There's a squeal of some anguish, I should say, from Bartley as Gary Cahill's gone together, but the referee's saying nothing doing, it goes away. Offside. In fact, there's an offside flag up on the far side. And It is, in fact, Kyle Bartley and Branislav Ivanovic. Well, he's 36, Ivanovic, so he needs to start early, doesn't he, really, Paul?
Again, it's about the quality of the ball. That one's got a little bit too much pace on it.
You talk about the quality. Most of the players now with...
Yeah.
Now that, I think, lends itself to, if you've got to be 10 times out of 10, because if you try and do that, it won't get over the first man. What happened to the good old-fashioned hang it up there, let the centre-half go and attack?
It doesn't happen anymore. It really doesn't, and I can't quite work it out. Stand it up on the angle sometimes and let them fight for it, because it's the knockdowns.
Yeah.
It's anticipating the knockdowns often is where the goals come from, not necessarily the first header. If you can keep the first header in the box, then it's everything else comes from that. So sometimes stand up, sometimes whip it in, but it's about having the options, but also someone who can deliver with quality and consistency.
Absolutely. Semi Ajayi with a throw, 6 yards inside the Palace half, into the feet of Pereira. Pereira back to Sawyers. Sawyers clips it out, got fouled by Luka Milivojevic in releasing the football, and it's going to be a free kick just inside the half. Sawyers goes for an elaborate crossfield ball, which is so easy for Klein to pick off with a header. Finds Schlupp. Schlupp gets a little bit of a buffeting and a bore in there as he releases the ball from Conor Gallagher, who received a somewhat similar treatment there. You could see that. It didn't take long for Jeffrey Schlupp just to balance things up. Yeah,
a bit of payback. That's all that was.
First touch there from Gallagher, just span up his legs, allowed just an invite. It was a bit of an invite there for young Jeffrey Schlupp to decide that was time to just get his own back. Ball is currently with West Bromwich Albion, just inside their own half. Ajayi into the centre circle goes Ivanovic, a couple of yards forward and then out to his left to Kyle Bartley. Bartley now drives and plays the ball out to the left to Phillips. Phillips inside to Conor Gallagher. Gallagher chased by Benteke, square to Mateus Pereira, still 12 yards shy of the 18-yard box, stands the ball up round the back, header from Phillips across the face of goal, looking for Diangana's taken out quite nicely by Vincent Gaeta, but you have to say that was nicely worked again from West Bromwich Albion. Nice space there on the left for Phillips to come in, and a fine ball from Pereira.
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, Nathaniel Klein needs help back there. Schlupp's got to get back, because Nathaniel Klein has been marking inside. He's closer to Kuate, which leaves Matt Phillips as the wing back coming up late, and that's Jeffrey Schlupp. He's got to be able to deal with that. A better header across the goal, and Diangana scores.
26 minutes gone. Palace lead 1-0. Goal on 8 minutes. An own goal from Darnell Furlong turned into his own net. But we have now mentioned both fullbacks, Nathaniel Klein and indeed on this near side, Patrick van Aanholt, getting caught out because their midfielders, in the case of Iberechi Eze and of course Jeffrey Schlupp, haven't been covering. So there is a chance for West Bromwich Albion to maybe find those spaces. Maybe they've done their homework.
Yeah, well, you kind of think with modern technology now and video clips and all that, the players will know.
Yeah.
They'll know the areas to exploit. And that definitely is one behind Palace's fullbacks. Van Aanholt on the left and Klein on the right.
Matty Phillips is really hugging that touchline on the far side. Blackjack darts, he's on as well. Listen, from West Central Florida, love my Liverpool Reds as much as PDC darts. I love my arrows as well, love them. Enjoying the commentary on TalkSport live from sunny Lagos, Nigeria. On my drive home from work, the banter from you guys is a big relief, because this sort of game could be one of those annoying games. No, it's all down to Paul. He's the man. He was a flying winger. He's an absolute wonderful pundit. As James MacArthur wins the ball in the middle of the park, finds Iberechi Eze, turns a little bit of a pirouette, but he's been allowed to drive forward some 10 yards, picks out a pass to Schlupp. Schlupp almost runs into trouble, but good feet there. In fact, I've got him mistaken there somewhat from Wilfred Zaha, who tumbled to the floor. My apologies there. We are a long way away from the pitch, but nice stuff again there, and Palace look as though they maybe have the threat, don't they?
Well, yeah, they do. I mean, they have the know-how without a doubt. Iberechi Eze turns there, and this is where the issue you have with West Brom, he's taken an age to make his mind up, and no West Brom player goes and shuts him down.
They dropped off, didn't they?
They dropped off and opened up, the space just opened up for him. This is where they've got to be tighter, and they've got to stop Palace trying to get the ball into Zaha's feet.
36 yards out, maybe 37, one-man walk. Grady Diangana, Luka Milivojevic stands over the ball, and it's dead centre. Real chance for Palace again, both sets of attackers and defenders align across the 18-yard box. Left to Van Aanholt, puts it in. Great towering header from Benteke. Heads it into the turf looking for the run of Sahar, but it bounces up and Johnston takes it. Kingso.io, blissful commentary guys on this Sunday afternoon. West Brom is going down to where they belong. Champions League, the Championship. Because
Villa fan.
It sounds like it. No, it sounds... it could be a Leeds fan by that. I should proofread some of these sometimes. They should go down and prepare themselves for a better season like Leeds. That is Isak Chukwu there from Port Harcourt in Nigeria. It's great to have you along. Loving the banter. Coming along in a game. West Ham coming... well, they won a goal down yesterday, and I really meant West Brom. Matt Phillips now on the left, cutting in field, into the field. Little give and go there with Callum Grant. Back to Phillips. Phillips 12 yards shy of the penalty area. Palace slides the ball out on the far side, cut out by Clay, but it's back to Phillips. Phillips now finds Gallagher. Gallagher back to Roman Sawyers on the lip of the centre circle, Palace side. Semi Ajayi tries to slip it in. It's a great ball. Chance for Darnell Furlong to put it in. Cahill blocks the first one. Rolls it back. Chance for Gallagher. What a piece. 17 yards out. Great finish. And that all came from a superb ball down the line that sent Darnell Furlong into the box. That made that goal. Great finish though by Conor Gallagher.
Well, again, it's poor defending. I think it's Van Aanholt who must be watching the ball. It's got to be, because there is no way that ball should get inside the fullback to Darnell Furlong. There should be, unless the fullback's fallen over. We can see it now. Van Aanholt, he's not. It's basic defending. Really, he's watching the ball. Hasn't watched Furlong. Cahill does his best. The ball, it comes back to Furlong, who steadies himself, cuts it back to Conor Gallagher, who just passes it into the near post. It's poor defending from Van Aanholt. For one so experienced, it's a real surprise. And Roy Hodgson, who prides his team on defensive know-how and understanding, will be fuming, because it's just poor defending, rank bad defending, simple as that, and he'll have to hold his hand up.
That is a terrific, I know, Patrick, you're quite right. It is Patrick Van Aanholt's fault there. A man so experienced getting caught with a straight ball in behind him. But I'm really pleased for Darnell Furlong, who got that unfortunate own goal in the 8th minute. He's had a header which has crashed the crossbar, and he's now in trying to atone for that own goal. And he's now set up a goal for Conor Gallagher. We've got a game on now. You said there'd be goals. We've had two inside 31.
Well, because... again, it's both teams want to play, and it's going to be about which team defends better. It's better without the ball, I think. Which team is smarter in their defensive area, how they set traps to go and shut the ball down and win it back and get on the attack and just defend properly.
One of the questions I would ask now, if this game was now in February or March next year, when one or either of these sides are in the bottom, it wouldn't be played with so much freedom, would it?
No.
To Christmas you get like a free shot, don't you?
No, it wouldn't have been, because you see both teams would be looking straight off the bat at what there is to lose, not gain.
Yeah.
So what they're saying is, we don't want to get beat, whereas we're 10 games in, slightly different. Give it a few months and you'll see things change, because again, you just don't want to. If a team's on a losing run, it's about registering a point, so we just sit in, catch them on the counter-attack, but don't give anything away. That's what they'd be looking to do.
Got another shout in for Jerome _K. I'm loving your commentary, hoping for Wolves and Arsenal to win. I'm loving your banter. Where do you guys get all these crazy stats from? By the way, how do you guys see Thomas Partey in the... Well, there's a question for you, Paul. Only you can answer that.
I think he's a good player.
He is a good player, isn't he?
I think he's. I used to see him play for Atletico. Good player. Of course, players take a bit of time to settle in, and you have to remember what he's coming into as well. That's the thing. As good as players are, what state of a club are they coming into? If that's not great, it doesn't matter who they are.
Patrick Van Aanholt is looking. There's a red card going on. The free kick, I didn't think it was going that far. It looks as though there's a possibility that Mateus Pereira is on the floor.
Well, he's
jabbed
kicked
his
out.
feet out. He's going to the screen.
He's kicked out. Often when they go to the screen, it's because they want him to have a good look at it, because he has kicked out Van Aanholt.
Yeah, it's the little Brazilian. That's
he has, hasn't he?
That's going to be difficult to deny. I feel for poor Tierney.
I think he could be in a bit of trouble. The fact that he's been told
you see it at normal speed. His feet go up. He doesn't jab the feet though, does he?
Well, there's a card coming out.
There's a card. He's gone to the pocket. It's going to be a yellow.
Oh no!
It is a red. He's rescinded his first yellow and he's gone for red. And Mateus Pereira disappears after 33 minutes. I'm going to keep quiet because our pitch side might just give you some thoughts here of what the managers are talking about. Better not, it might be agricultural in fairness. Listen to you guys here. Thank you for all you do from Memphis in Tennessee. That is Dappy Candy. And Kotex is on as well. Wow, nice commentary. Just come back from church. Nice job, guys. West Brom winning this match. That a game from Lagos, Nigeria. So Mateus Pereira, this 24-year-old Brazilian, is going to make his way to the tunnel. He'll have to be guided down there. He seems to be saying,
well, he's got to come off the pitch, as simple as that. Now it's time to go, because the ref's made his decision. Did he kick out at him? It certainly appears so. If you do that and you catch the player, because the player is going to go down like they've been shot, really, and he does it. I mean, he does. He kicks him. Yeah, he does. Yeah, his right foot catches Van Arno in the nether regions. There's absolutely no disputing that, and it doesn't look like it needs to, because he extends his foot.
Yeah,
that's what they're looking at.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. It does certainly catch him in the place that nobody wants to be caught. And when it comes down to it, I was just looking for an extra jab of the foot. I thought there might have been. At normal speed, I wasn't too sure, but a tangle, an ungainly tangle in Mateus Pereira going off. He got the free kick as well after Van Arnholt had actually taken him down. Bernard Telles, nice to have you along, watching, listening in. It's going to be Gallagher to put the ball into the box, deep one as well, headed away by Cahill, not far away but wide. And Schlupp picks the ball up. 10-man West Bromwich Albion just got themselves level as Grady Diangana wins the ball back from Schlupp down towards the corner flag on the far side. Into the feet now of Callum Grant. Grant holding it up. 3 Palace players swarm around him. Tries to get the crossing. Kouyaté blocks. It's going to be a throw to West Bromwich Albion, 4 or 5 yards away from the corner flag defended by Nathaniel Klein on the far side of the pitch here at the Hawthorns.
Now, the way Palace play, I don't know if this is a blessing or a curse for them. I'm not sure, because as you said, they're not a possession-based side more often than
not points and possession-based side.
No, yeah, but they're not a possession-based side. Full stop. They're not a team that dominates possession. So, and West Brom are. So
Did you ever play in those games when that old football cliche stroke adage came out, which is 10 men are harder to beat sometimes than 11?
Well, 10 men are harder to beat sometimes, because what happens with the 11? The 11 mentally power down, because each one of the 10 players on the pitch thinks they're the spare player, so they can actually power down. What you need to do for the first 10 minutes after the player gets sent off and the opponents are down to 10 men is you step up. You step up the pace and you break them physically. You get after them, you go and shut them down, you play at a pace, you make the pitch big, and you put that 10 under pressure.
I was always a spare player in my side. never picked a red card. I wish Tottenham suffered the same fate against Arsenal today. Francis, for you're nailing your colours to the mast in a big way for the North London derby, which comes up this afternoon. 4 games on Premier League Live for you. This is the first. It's 1-1 between West Bromwich Albion and Crystal Palace here, and West Bromwich Albion down to 10. Pereira going off for a straight. Well, no, a second. Was it straight? I think it was a straight.
I think it was a straight. Yeah, it was. I mean, I think he'd been given a yellow, and clearly VAR better look at it.
Slips in behind here. Can he get the ball in the box? Digs it up. Benteke can't get anything on it. And Semi Ajayi on the edge of his 6-yard box puts the ball out for the first corner of this game that goes the Crystal Palace way. But it's been a lively first 37 minutes.
Well, what I would be doing now, because I don't know if it's going to be a change of formation for West Brom, because if I'm Palace now, if they're still playing 3 centre halves, I'm going to play with 2 wide men and just put them wide and make the 3 a 5. Then midfield becomes a place.
Fojevic gets the ball in. Bartley heads it up and away. Grady Diangana battling on the edge of the box, but it's won back by Eze. Eze slips into Sahar, wide of goal. Tries to play it across the face of goal. Good block there, and away for a second corner there from Darnell Furlong. He done very, very well to get across there.
He did. I wondered what Eze was doing on the edge of the box, trying to bring the ball down there, but brought it down beautifully, set up Zaha. I thought Zaha would shoot, actually.
Yeah.
but Furlong's got there really quick and blocked the cross.
Eze with this corner now as Johnston in the goal looks out to his right hand side. Goal away to my left. Plenty of height in there. Ball is delivered. Headed up in the air again by Kyle Bartley. Chance on the spin as he falls to the floor by Schlupp. Doesn't really connect. Ball comes out to the edge of the box. That's a wonderful pass. Should have been a shot. Can't tell you who the player is. I think it was Klein. Back in now. Zahar and Eze. Eze puts it right across the face. Gary Cahill 12 yards out looking for his 50th goal in his career. Gets it blocked by Ivanovic. Klein heads the ball as it makes its way to the halfway line to Milivojevic, who then with a left foot or a right foot volley all the way back to his keeper from inside the West Bromwich Albion half. I thought Gary Cahill was going to get his 50th goal there.
It certainly looked like it. You could see his eyes lit up thinking, here's a chance for me. Good first touch, teed it up well, but you know, West Brom have defended for their lives. They've stuck bodies in front of everything, and for them it's just about seeing out this next 5 or 6 minutes and managing now to the end of the half, going in 1-0 down so they can reset, readdress the issues they've got and come out a different proposition in the second half.
Possibly the biggest worry for West Bromwich Albion now, I would say, is they've got a point. They're down to 10. They've got a point on the board. It's one apiece. That they go too defensive. You know, they think, right, let's get these 10 bodies behind the ball and let Palace have as much ball as possible. I know the possession stats I quoted at the start of the game, you know, when they get over 50% possession, they very rarely win. But that's just inviting too much on, and normally there's a creak and a groan and a crack somewhere in the defensive rearguard action when you try that. So
yeah, I mean you have to change a little bit. Unless you're Man City, you do have to change when you go down to 10 players. You really do. If you're West Brom down the bottom of the table, of course you do. There's a reason why you're down there, and often it's because you're not good enough without the ball. So you have to change just a little bit.
Good chance there, break there by MacArthur to Benteke. Benteke to Zahar. Zahar has been crudely, well, it looked to me as though he was caught from the side there. And I think that he might get booked here, because I thought that Darnell Furlong had actually taken Zahar down from the side and behind. Paul Tierney said not, and then Zahar's gone into a challenge straight afterwards, looking to eke a little bit of revenge, one would say. He's now having a chat with Paul Tierney. Did you think that Zahar was caught?
I thought it was a decent tackle. It's from behind, which is an issue, obviously, but I thought it was a decent enough tackle if that's allowed from behind. But I think he got with the ump a little bit, didn't he? As you see it again.
Can you see it?
Yeah, he's got the ball. I think he's got the ball. I think because if you look at his response, normally he has a moan up when he thinks he's been fouled. Yeah. But he got up and carried on with it, and that kind of tells you, that indicates where he was with that.
All right, I'll bow to your knowledge. I just thought he got a clump and he was going to go and give somebody a clump back, a bit sharpish. Another shout, got Memphis listening in Lagos. As a football player, is it the right choice to leave a team that's playing in Champions League to a team playing in Europa League? I'm talking about Thomas Partey's move to Arsenal. That's another one that the boys can talk about later on. We're going to concentrate on this one with West Bromwich Albion and Crystal Palace. It's one apiece. I know what you're saying. It's all about playing football for footballers, and Paul will tell you that.
Well, it's about what's right for the player. But he's at Atletico. He clearly isn't playing as much as he would like. He's going to go to a club that's going to offer him the opportunity. And you see, he goes to a club. It's not just about this year.
Yeah.
It's signed 3 or 4 years. It's another 3 or 4 years to go, and it's about them as well.
Ball down his near side again. Darnell Furlong gets on. Van Arnholt comes in just as he's measuring across. Big shout here. That's a superb run by the right defensive midfielder, I should say. Van Arnholt this time sticking to his guns, and it's going to be the first corner of the game for 10 men. West Bromwich Albion here in the 42nd minute. Goal away to my right hand side, and my word, Slaven Bilic and his boys and his cohorts and his managerial men and all his fans outside will be hoping that they could stick their noses in front from a set piece just before the break.
This is where set pieces are important. When you're down a player, so you can't carve teams open, if you get an opportunity for a set piece, you throw your heart and soul into it. Maybe a chance to get something positive in terms of a shot at the Palace's goal.
Gaeta looks out. Gallagher will take it. 42nd minute of this first half. Gallagher goes low and flat, easy. Header away by Eze. Comes out to Grady Diangana. Now back to Gallagher. Gallagher with another chance to step it up, and deep it is as well. Ajayi heads it across the face of goal. Schlupp takes it off the head and the feet, I should say, of all his players. Just heads it away as Gaeta came out looking like a yellow Superman, punching thin air. But in the end, Callum Grant's effort is just deflected over the crossbar in the melee that followed. But what a moment that was.
Yeah.
That was Gaeta at his Superman best, really, was it? Here he comes. We're watching on the replay. Yep. No cape.
Well, he gets it if Schlupp doesn't get in the way, and if he calls it, probably. The thing about Carlin Grant is the ball just doesn't come down quickly enough.
Yeah, he wants another foot on that ball to drop down so he can get his foot over the top of it and drive it down towards the turf. Another corner though, second of the first half to West Bromwich Albion, and opposite side this time, Paul Tierney, slightly greying hair now. Is looking across, just saying it's got to be held up. Benteke's near post with Furlong. Furlong's really impressed me so far for the side, former QPR man.
Yeah, I saw him a lot of QPR. He's a good player.
And it's Gallagher again. This time he's going to send this in with the right foot, far side, curls it in. Up go the heads. Benteke heads it away. Eze gets it to MacArthur. MacArthur goes long up to a great ball into the feet of Zaha. Zaha's ball into Eze was a poor pass, killed all the momentum, wanted to run onto it, and he had to wait for it to get to him. And in the end, they have managed to get the ball back, but West Bromwich Albion trying to attack on this near side. And now it's Palace go the other way, crossing by Van Harnholt, deep cross in. Benteke can't get there. Klein retrieves it to the edge of the box of West Bromwich Albion. MacArthur onto his right foot, tries to lift it in, edge of the box. Diangana heads the ball away. Phillips gets it back to Diangana. Diangana's first touch allows Milivojevic to get it away, and a first time shot on the spin from 22 yards from Eze just curls away past the right post of Sam Johnston's goal. West Brom not doing themselves any favour.
No, because they don't clear balls. They're trying to bring stuff down. Diangana gets the ball there, he's trying to dribble with it. Sometimes, especially with 10 men, you haven't got that option of bringing it down and finding players. Sometimes you've got to just put it in rosette and reset and be ready again, because Eze turns and shoots quickly, and the speed of his shot is what could fool the goalkeeper. The fact that he's taken it so early, but it's not on target, so that doesn't happen.
Great shout from Francis Furr. He sent us a picture of a baby on a mobile phone saying, I'm trying to contact VAR now to overturn the red card. He's really enjoying the commentary. Ball goes back to Gaeta. He's outside his penalty area. He plays it out to his right back, Nathaniel Klein. Klein, 12 yards shy of the halfway line. Up to the halfway line now. Just checks though, has to go infield to Kouyaté. Kouyaté squared to his left to Cahill. Cahill on the halfway line. Into the feet of Eze, who comes to meet the ball. Diangana sticking to his task well, forcing him across the pitch. And now he goes across to the opposite side where James MacArthur will open his body out and find Klein, who's midway inside the West Bromwich Albion half. Give and go this time with Eze. 2 minutes, a minimum of to be added. Klein, though, getting thwarted by a wall of dark navy stripe and white shirts. Looks like a barcode, in fairness. It's not a sort of graded stripes, I would say. As the ball goes in now from Klein towards Benteke, chests it down. Branislav Ivanovic behind him. Benteke tries to get to the dead ball line, but a little too heavy with the touch, and it goes out for a goal kick to West Bromwich Albion. Benteke's got a different presence to Jordan Ayew, hasn't he?
Yeah, Jordan Ayew, there's more movement. There's more of a willingness to run about. I think he's a little bit more consistent in his play. Benteke at the moment, I don't know what he is, because he doesn't do big man stuff. He doesn't knock people about. He's not on the angle trying to win the ball. His touch is great at the moment. He's lacking in confidence. It sounds really negative, but like I said, on these days unplayable, but those days just have been few and far between over the last 4 or 5 years. Plus he's had a lot of injuries. Yeah, I really feel sorry for Christian Benteke, and I'm not going for him, really. You're right, there's a player in there, but all those things make it very difficult for people, and he came with after such a terrific time at Villa. Went to Liverpool, didn't really click, but he's... The thing about it also is, Andrew, is are the team playing to his strengths? Because at Villa, he was the main man. They played to his strengths, which is why you saw him play that way. I don't think this Palace side plays to his strengths at all. You were right at the top of the show. You were saying that waiting for a ball to come in is terrible for him at times. Callum Grant now, edge of the Palace box, got 3 around him, twisting and turning, tries a little layoff to Darnell Furlong, but only gets it to Iberechi Eze, who now makes his way out on this near side, being turned around by Callum Grant, who's working very hard. A little stab pass back to Milivojevic, square to the lip of the centre circle. It's 1-1 at the break. Paul, give us a shout. What did you think of that first 45? It's lively, without a doubt. I mean, the sending off has changed the whole, the whole state of the game, but, they'll reset. And I think they'll come out slightly different, West Brom. So should Palace. Palace should be looking to drive at the game now and go and win it. Plenty of action in the first 45. Join us again. You are listening to Premier League Live.
Demanding a high performance from your team. You should be demanding the same from your tires. The Irish Tyre Industry Association is urging motorists to stay safe this winter and check the condition of your tyres. You could even be liable for a fine and 2 penalty points if found driving with tyres below the legal tread depth limit of 1.6 millimeters. ITIA expert technicians will carry out a free tyre safety check to ensure your tyres are safe and legal. Visit itia.ie to find your local expert.
As Ireland's homegrown insurer, FPD knows it's empowering when someone has your back. So switch your van insurance to us and get up to 75% no-claim discount. Visit fpd.ie to request a quote. FPD Insurance. Support. It's what we do. Terms, conditions and underwriting criteria apply. 75% no-claims discount is based on proof of 5 years no-claims discount and available to new commercial motor customers only. FPD Insurance Group Limited, trading as FPD Insurance, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Commercial motor insurance is underwritten by FPD Insurance PLC.
Upgrade your home viewing experience at Curry's PC World. See every tackle, shot and goal in crystal clear definition with our huge range of the latest to market large screen TVs with massive savings. Like save up to €250 on Samsung 4K TVs from only $459. And get your TV for half price. 1 in 20 win half their money back. Buy any LG OLED TV to enter with prices from just $1,249. Shop online at currys.ie.
Get ready and hold on tight because the Premier League is here. Which teams will stay on track and who'll go off the rail? Get the Irish Sun for top transfer news, exclusive star interviews and opinions from the biggest names in football. Plus expert analysis of every action-packed match in our fantastic goals pull-out each weekend. Stay up to speed because you never know what the Premier League is going to throw up. Pick up the Irish Sun today.
Introducing Guardson Sport. Protect your sporting equipment from COVID-19 for up to 14 days with Guardson Sport disinfectant treatment. Team sport settings with the sharing of balls, rackets, gloves, helmets, and all other sporting equipment. Guardson Sport kills COVID-19 on impact, keeping surfaces free from COVID-19 and other viruses and bacteria for up to 14 days by creating a protective polymer layer on application. For more information on Guardson Sport and other quality assured, certified and approved PPE, visit yourcovidprotection.com.
At Paddy Power, we know competition for the remote control can be fierce at the weekends. So in order to give the non-football loving occupants of your house something to do, here are some of our top suggestions. Go for a walk. Walk the dog. Go cycling. Cycle the dog. Recycle the dog. Just go! All very good options, we say. And that's not the only one. If one leg of your 4+ Fold ACA lets you down, get a free bet on all football leagues and markets. Paddy Power. Max free bet €10. Min odds 1 to 5 on each leg. Online exclusive. Excludes shop bets. T's and C's apply. 18+. Need help? Visit gamblingcare.ie.
45 minutes have elapsed on Sunday's four-timer. The first half of West Bromwich Albion Crystal Palace. Plenty's happened. Here's your highlights. Ball goes into the box with Zaha, cross it right across the face. It's 1-0, it's an own goal. An own goal, it looks as though to me, and it's come off Darnell Furlong. The ball was drilled in wide from Johnston's left-hand side. Darnell Furlong's tried to put it out for a corner, and the deflection seems to have taken it into the back of the net. Furlong to put it in. Cahill blocks the first one, rolls it back, chance for Gallagher. What a piece, 17 yards out, great finish, and that all came from a superb ball down the line that sent Darnell Furlong into the box. That made that goal. Great finish though by Conor Gallagher.
Poor defending for Bonanno. For one so experienced, it's a real surprise. And Roy Hodgson, who prides his team on defensive know-how and understanding, will be fuming because that's just poor defending, rank bad defending, simple as that. And he'll have to hold his hand up. Oh no,
it is a red. He's rescinded his first yellow and he's gone for red, and Mateus Pereira disappears after 33 minutes. Well, it all happened in the first 45. 2 goals and a red card, and we sounded a little bit sort of perplexed, but having seen that red card, Pereira has put West Bromwich Albion well and truly on the back foot, Paul.
Has, definitely. I mean, it's needless, really, because I think he got the foul, didn't he? Yeah. So it was needless, but it's changed the whole complexion of the game now. You know, West Brom are going to have to play counter-attacking football. They cannot be as expansive. They can't. Palace now is a conundrum for them because they're not normally a possession-based side. and it looks like they're going to have a lot of the possession, and that's going to be interesting to see how they deal with that. But they're going to have to drive at the game, up the pace, up the tempo, really go and put West Brom under pressure, and try and go and win the game.
It is a massive arse now for West Bromwich. I mean, they've got a point, and as I said to you before, do they stick, do they twist, do they try and defend for the next 45 minutes? It's a difficult conundrum for them. I'm sure Simon Bilic will have his own minds. There'll be many of you out there saying, oh, well, I know it's attack's the best form of defence, but it is a very difficult situation, because this is a point they would have earmarked 3 points for, and a point will be something.
Well, they've got something to hold on to. If it would have been different if they were 1-0 down and they had to go and find a goal, but they've actually got something to hold on to now. So, as we said, it's a cliche, the next goal is going to be crucial. If they were to get it, West Brom, then we'd see something slightly different. If Palace get it changes the complexion of the game again. So, we'll know in the first 10 or 15 minutes how these teams are looking to play. If Palace haven't upped the tempo, aren't going to shut them down in their own half, putting them under pressure, you know that they're hoping for Zaha or someone to weave a bit of magic.
There we are. Right, it is a four-timer again this Sunday in the Premier League. Next up, Sheffield United winless against the inconsistent Leicester City, coming for you with Alex Crook and Dean Hammond. And then it's on to the North London derby. Bragging rights are up for grabs. We got a shout here from Mikel Arteta, who's talking about Patrick Aubameyang and scoring goals.
When your top scorer is not scoring goals, of course you are concerned, because you know how important his goals are. And as I mentioned before, you only have to look at the stats of the goals that the team has scored in recent years, and the percentages of Oba's goal in those goals has an enormous impact on the team's performance and results. So we need to get him back scoring goals as soon as possible, because on that would depend a big part of what we do as a team in the league.
Mikel Arteta there talking about Aubameyang's lack of goals, your top goal scorer. Before the game, we're sat here, we're not Spurs fans, we're not Arsenal fans, but I'm going to put you on the spot. Who do you reckon is going to come out with the bragging rights at the end?
Well, Spurs are the better team. They're better individually and they're better collectively. At this moment, I don't know what Arsenal are. I've got to say, I'm not quite sure. Sometimes they look like a decent, the semblance of a decent side, but consistently Spurs look better defensively. They look better without the ball. They look more potent in attack. Their goal scorer is scoring goals as well as creating them. Arsenal, you take young Saka out of the team, who is a magnificent player, and I'm not sure where their thrust comes from. I'm not quite sure. I don't know if there's enough creativity in the side. Willian hasn't been the Chelsea player that we thought, the player we thought he would have been from Chelsea. He hasn't. I'm looking at other players. I don't know. Aubameyang's getting a lot of grief. How many chances are being created for him, really? Because I don't think he's a maker of chances. He needs them created for him. So there's a lot. And finally, I do think that possibly Arteta's tried to change too much too soon, too quickly, and that's what we're seeing at the moment.
Massive words there from Paul about the Arsenal side, and it looked as though they were on the right track at one stage before somehow the wheels have fallen off. The other situation, what do you make of Harry Kane? This year he's not just turned into goal scorer, he's really turned into quite an unbelievable dropping off and finding passes left, right and centre. He seems like the boy to have in your side.
Well, I think he's a brilliant player. I think, and what's happened for him is he's probably not as mobile as he was. He doesn't run the channels as much, so he's changed his game a little bit, and you know what? He's got a midfielder's brain. He can play as a midfielder. His feet are quick enough. His movement is good enough. His range of passing is good enough, and you can see it in how many goals he's created for Son and people like that, as well as being up there in the scoring charts. He's complete at the moment, but he's got a team around him that serves him well, plays to his strengths as well.
One of the questions I will say is that Harry Kane is coming deeper, and he seems to know what runs he would have made, so he finds his man. I often say this about sort of ex-centre forwards that ends up at centre halves. They seem to know the runs the centre forward are going to make. Do you reckon that's part of him when he receives that ball deep, that he knows where he wants that ball played, so therefore he's expecting Son to be running in there?
Well, yeah, they have an appreciation, and that's the thing. When you play in other positions, you have an appreciation of how you'd like the ball and you want to receive the ball, and he understands that really well. That's why it's always important for young players to play in as many positions as possible before you nail one down, so you have an appreciation of how someone wants to receive the ball, where they want it played, and that's intelligence. That's not about fitness or anything, pace or anything. It's about thought and your intelligence and your understanding, your game understanding, and his is of the top quality.
It is indeed. Well, we are the first game of a 4-game Sunday. Final game is Liverpool versus Wolverhampton Wanderers, which in itself is another little enigma for Jurgen Klopp, his side who concede goals and also score an awful lot of goals. But here we are concentrating on the second 45 minutes. Paul Mortimer alongside me of the West Bromwich Albion game versus Crystal Palace. It's 1-1 at the break. Coming up for you is the next 45 minutes of action. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Demanding a high performance from your team? You should be demanding the same from your tires. The Irish Tyre Industry Association is urging motorists to stay safe this winter and check the condition of your tires. You could even be liable for a fine and 2 penalty points if found driving with tires below the legal trip depth limit of 1.6 millimeters. ITIA expert technicians will carry out a free tire safety check to ensure your tires are safe and legal. Visit itia.ie to find your local expert.
As Ireland's homegrown insurer, FPD knows it's empowering when someone has your back. So switch your van insurance to us and get up to 75% no-claim discount. Visit fpd.ie to request a quote. FPD Insurance. Support. It's what we do. Terms, conditions and underwriting criteria apply. 75% no-claims discount is based on proof of 5 years no-claims discount and available to new commercial motor customers only. FPD Insurance Group Limited, trading as FPD Insurance, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Commercial motor insurance is underwritten by FPD Insurance PLC.
Upgrade your home viewing experience at Curry's PC World. See every tackle, shot and goal in crystal clear definition with our huge range of the latest to market large screen TVs with massive savings. Like save up to €250 on Samsung 4K TVs from only $459. And get your TV for half price. 1 in 20 win half their money back. Buy any LG OLED TV to enter with prices from just $1,249. Shop online at currys.ie.
Get ready and hold on tight because the Premier League is here! Which teams will stay on track and who'll go off the rail? Get the Irish Sun for top transfer news, exclusive star interviews and opinions from the biggest names in football, plus expert analysis of every action-packed match in our fantastic goals pull-out each weekend. Stay up to speed because you never know what the Premier League is going to throw up. Pick up the Irish Sun today.
Introducing Guardson Sport. Protect your sporting equipment from COVID-19 for up to 14 days with Guardson Sport disinfectant treatment. Ideal in team sport settings with the sharing of balls, rackets, gloves, helmets, and all other sporting equipment. Guardson Sport kills COVID-19 on impact, keeping surfaces free from COVID-19 and other viruses and bacteria for up to 14 days by creating a protective polymer layer on application. For more information on Guardson Sport and other quality assured, certified and approved, visit yourcovidprotection.com.
At Paddy Power, we know competition for the remote control can be fierce at the weekends. So in order to give the non-football loving occupants of your house something to do, here are some of our top suggestions. Go for a walk. Walk the dog. Go cycling. Cycle the dog. Recycle the dog. Just go! All very good options, we say. And that's not the only one. If one leg of your 4 Plus Fold ACA lets you down, get a free bet on all football leagues and markets. Paddy Power. Max free bet €10. Min odds 1 to 5 on each leg. Online exclusive. Exclude shop bets. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. Need help? Visit gamblingcare.ie.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of West Bromwich Albion against Crystal Palace from the Hawthorns. I'm your host, Andrew Self. Alongside me is the former Crystal Palace, Aston Villa and Charlton winger. Flying in his day was Paul Mortimer. This is Premier League Live. The two sides are out for the second half. It's 1 apiece. Just 10 men for West Bromwich Albion, 11 for Crystal Palace. Doesn't appear to be any changes as we speak. Let's just have a quick look at the benches. Palace do have 3 attackers in there. Jordan Ayew, Andros Townsend and Michy Batshuayi from Belgium. They have chances to change things around, don't they, Roy?
Yep, they've got a lot. They've got a lot of options. Ayew, Townsend, Batshuayi, even Riedewald's come on and scored. So they have options. Be very interesting to see how they use that because they've got 2 holding midfielders. Do they need 2 holding midfielders now against 10 players? That's going to be interesting. How long it's going to be before they change that.
As a manager, if you were now the manager of Crystal Palace, would you be thinking, no, I'm going to go for this? This is 3 points on a plate. Well, not on a plate, but there's a real chance of 3 points here, which would do me the power of good.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, you're playing against a team whose current form is they've only won 1 at home in their last 5. It's 1-1, but you've got a man more. There's no better opportunity for you to go and win a game than this. If you don't go for this, I think questions would have to be asked. They really would. For first 20 minutes, I'd be going for it. As it comes to the end of the half, maybe slightly differently, but you've got to go for it.
I was looking at the West Bromwich Albion side in the first half. I thought Matt Phillips hugging on the left-hand side and Darnell Furlong, who's had parts in both goals, were very, very good. And I've got to give a big shout out to Semi Ajayi, because that was a superb ball. Looks as though there is going to be a change for West Bromwich Albion. We wait to see who is coming off, but it is number 17, Filip Krovinovic, who's coming on, the Croatian midfielder, 25 years of age. Waiting to see who they've sacrificed in this lineup. I would tend to think they've maybe looked at, well, we're just trying to see, I can't see at the moment, Gallagher's there, Roman Sawyers is there. Looks as though they're going for a 5-3-1 and trying to get as many people up front. We'll tell you exactly who has been replaced. Paul will keep his eagle eye on.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really say at the moment, does it?
It doesn't. It's always difficult anyway. I know that Colin Grant is at the top of the park. I think the person that's gone is Grady Diangana.
Yeah, Diangana. Yes,
Grady Diangana that has gone. Anyway, Crystal Palace in the second half attacked the goal away to my right. I'm sitting just above the gantry, and I have the cameras just as they normally are. It is Krovinovic. It's on for Diangana.
Well, you can see why they're doing that. So what they've got is proper midfielders in there. They've got Ahern, Grant up front, but then the rest of them are midfielders. So they'll know how to defend, shuffle across, soldiers in there. That's what they need. People who are going to work hard, put a shift in. Not saying Diangana doesn't, but he's more of an attack-minded player than one who's going to concentrate and focus on his defending.
I suppose with Matt Phillips, they do have that. He had a pretty good first half. They do have that ability. Let's just run through the sides for you. Home side first, West Bromwich Albion, navy and white striped shirts, white shorts and navy socks. Sam Johnson in goal, back three of Semi Ajayi, Branislav Ivanovic and Kyle Bartley. Then it is Darnell Furlong, Conor Gallagher. I've got Townsend down here, that's the other one. Conor Gallagher, Roman Sawyer, and of course the man that's just come on in the middle of the park, Filip Krovinovic. And up front they have got, I would say, Callum Grant, and on the far side that's going to try and support him as much as possible is going to be Matt Phillips. For Crystal Palace in goal, Vincent Gaeta. 4 at the back, Van Arnholt, Cahill, Kouyaté and Nathaniel Klein is about to cross the ball into the West Bromwich Albion box, cut out by Sawyers, hooked away by Gallagher. And then they have 2 holding midfielders in MacArthur and Milivojevic. Then it's Wilfred Zaha, Jeffrey Schlupp and Eberechi Eze in behind Christian Benteke. Palace, the story of the game, they took the lead through a Darnell Furlong own goal in the 8th minute, but that was cancelled out when a superb ball by Ajayi put in Darnell Furlong, who crossed the ball back for Gallagher to slide in from 17 yards on 30 minutes. Benteke tries to steal a march into the box, but the flag has gone up. Just went a little too early. So difficult, you've played the game, you know what it's like. You just want to win a game of football when you're out there and you're mentally up on, your adrenaline's pumping. As a manager, you've got to try and contain that. You've been a manager as well. Transmitting that to the players, sometimes the excitement, the opportunity, the real chance across to your players without getting them to go gung-ho must be really hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's about them being professional and consistent in what they're doing, and about, letting the flair players show the flair and everyone else doing their jobs. I just look at Palace and I think, when you get up against 10 men, move the ball quickly, make the pitch big, switch it, open, because the more you switch it, the more you open up their defence and gaps appear. But, when people take 3 and 4 touches, it allows those players, those West Brom players, to get back into good defensive positions.
Ball down the line there from Klein, level the 18-yard box of West Bromwich Albion, into the feet of Zaha, but he's caught late by Bartley and given away a free kick. Dangerous one, right on the touchline. West Bromwich Albion's keeper, Sam Johnson, in goal away to my right-hand side. Bartley really did buy that. I'd like to see Ise and Zaha get a bit wider. To me, they're
coming inside far too often.
Milivojevic dinks his ball in. Cahill's the target, headed away by Bartley, edge of the box. Ise gets it down, but it's gone away from goal. Lays it back to Patrick Van Aanholt, back to Ise. Ise now puts it up to the edge of the West Bromwich Albion box, headed away by Ajayi. Conor Gallagher gets up and wins the ball over the head of MacArthur, and then gets it to Filip Kravinovic. MacArthur goes back in for a challenge, and in his own time, Paul Tierney gets out a card that matches his yellow shirt and gives it to James MacArthur. And again, West Bromwich Albion have got to, it's going to be a little bit of, what's the word I'm looking for? They're going to have to be pretty fit for this second 45, because they're going to have to get forward and they're going to have to get back, and they've got to get forward quickly, haven't they?
Yeah, they're going to have to work without a doubt. But I get a sense, even in that passage of play, Palace had a lot of possession, so they've sat right in. The problem is Carlin Hearn-Grant is sitting in as well, so when they win it, they have no target, and that's going to be the problem. So the ball's going to keep coming back,
as it does now with Ise. Tries to slip in Benteke. He's into the box, but wide of the goal. Gets a shot across the face of goal. Could have been a cross-come shot, in fairness. I thought it was going goalwards, because the goalkeeper Sam Johnson threw out a right arm as though he thought it was going in, but it's gone right across the face of goal. But Benteke making a good run there. Ajayi done really well to put the young man off, and in fairness, the cross was a cross in the end when we see it from a different angle on our replay monitor.
It's decent run, decent pass, but he's beaten the play, Benteke. So those in support in the box were never going to be able to get there as that ball's flashed past the post.
There we are. Don't forget, you can follow us on Twitter at TalkSport Live, myself at Selfie86, SELFY86, and of course the real main man at PMorts, PMORTS. That is for the professional man alongside me that knows what everybody's thinking. Van Aanholt on the ball inside the own half, gets it to Milivojevic inside the centre circle on the Palace side, square to Klein, short ball into the fit of MacArthur, back 20 yards to Kouyaté, square to the left to Cahill, and now forward down the left hand side. Van Aanholt a yard in from that left touchline as he drives towards the goal away to my right. Short give and go with Ise, back to Van Aanholt, and now back to Kouyaté. Kouyaté squared. If you missed the team news, Scott Dan isn't in the side today, so Kouyaté's dropped into the middle of the park, and Benteke's in for Jordan Ayew at the top of the park today, and Wilfried Zaha returns for his 200th Palace appearance and 350th league appearance today. Ise trying to turn away from Semi Ajayi, gets the ball through to Benteke, edge of the box, back to goal, out now on the far side to Zaha, who drags his foot over the ball, gets in there, deflected cross comes in and away for a corner to Crystal Palace, the first of the second half, their third of the game, and that's what we want. I would say Townsend may be a question here, because he does like to play wider than maybe Ise.
He does, but he plays on the right, and keeps cutting in, Townsend. Yeah, and that's for me, what's happening with Palace's players is, again, it's that invertedness. They keep coming in the pitch. I would say Zaha and Ise, stay wide. Yeah. Open the pitch up, stay wide. And when you get it, go and take people on and get crosses in.
Ise with the corner. Johnson looks out of his goal, coming in from the right, goes up, misses his punch, drops down, but Kravinovic gets to the ball before Luka Milivojevic. He comes out on this near side, being trapped by Chet Kouyaté, and in the end he tries to deliver the ball forward, but it's come out by the chest of Cahill. 6 yards inside the West Brom half. Down the channel it goes. James MacArthur, across comes Carl Bartley, stabs the ball out of play. Palace with the throw, taken quickly by Milivojevic off his thigh and back to Kouyaté. Cahill. Now it's Van Aanholt, dead centre of the half of West Brom, into the feet, back off, and gets a shot in. Good save away to his left-hand side from that shot from Van Aanholt from 22 yards. He palms it away past the post as Johnson. Another corner to Crystal Palace, but it's a wave of Eagles coming towards the Baggies.
And that's better play, much better play. Good set-up play from Benteke. Tried to pass it into the top corner of Van Aanholt. Good save from Johnson. Better attacking.
Ise now with a corner. Johnson looks out to his right. In it goes. Big header away by Bartley. Edge of the box. Kravinovic just puts the ball away. Onto the loose ball goes Phillips. Phillips goes a nice clean pair of heels from Milivojevic, but he's got to take on Klein now. You've heard it first from Paul Mortimer. He's run into the man, but he's gone forward the other way now. Carlin Hearn-Grant now with a chance to take on Van Aanholt. 4 yards out. Little ball out to Gallagher. Out now on the far side to Sawyer. Sawyer's down by the dead ball line. Back to Gallagher, who goes down under pressure. He should really. He's just waiting for the contact.
Shameful. He should get booked.
Shame.
It is, because he's gone in, tried to con the ref.
Here's Eze going the other way now. Zaha, apex of the penalty area, drives into the box, fires a shot in, blocked by Semi Ajayi, crossing it this time, headed away by Bartley. Oh, it's end-to-end.
Just want to say end-to-end stuff. If Gallagher stays on his feet, he actually keeps the ball and they get a crossing. In a flash from that, I mean, you can see, look, he's moved away from the ball actually and gone to collide with, and it's just ridiculous.
I think the phrase you're looking for is made a back.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, and then it's fallen. I think the only way you stop that is by, if I was a ref, I'd go and have a word with him.
Yeah.
And just tell him to cut it out.
I'd just go over and whisper in his ear, you'll have to have your leg hanging off if I give you a penalty kick from now on. Another corner to Palace. Eze with the corner, furthest corner away from us. Goal away to my right hand side. Johnston, the West Bromwich Albion keeper, looks out to his right, and inside the penalty area there is Jeffrey Schlupp and Darnell Furlong having a little come together.
They wanted to change shirts. I think Darnell's saying to Jeffrey, I want your shirt, and Jeffrey said, no, I want yours.
There we are. It's like a love-in. It is. Here comes the corner, curling in, up go the heads. McCarthy gets into the back, and Cahill cross the face. Should be 2-1, not. Benteke slides it in, blocked up the line again by Darnell Furlong, who's having an exceptional game. Scored the first inadvertently, made the second, and then just cleared one off the line. He is a top boy, Paul Furlong's son. Really good. $1.5 million from QPR. Schlupp tries to put a shot in, blocked by Ivanovic. Out to McCarthy, now to Zaha inside the penalty area.
It's a great goal.
2-1. Got the ball on his left, went to his right, curled it in past Johnston. It's 2-1. It's a superb goal from 17 yards on the angle by Wilfried Zaha, 6th of the season.
That is the Wilfried Zaha you know and love, and I'm virtually sure Slaven Bilic will have said to his side, do not let Zaha have time and space in the penalty area, because he's a great striker of the ball, and they've done that. He's tried it a couple of times, they've blocked it really well, but they've given him time and space, and he's smashed it in the far corner, and now the game is different.
Well, you just look as we see a replay now, the ball goes to him, and there's two stood over on the far side. Lovely pass by MacArthur, and in the end it's just fizzed in. Furlong gets the cross there, but they were pulled out of shape there, West Bromwich Albion, and there was two waiting. And once he's inside the penalty area, he just literally runs a couple of yards forward to the player, who is Furlong, goes back to his right foot, curls it. Johnston, no chance. It's a sublime finish from a man that really can score goals. If only his histrionics would just calm down a touch.
I wish, but what he's done there is, it's the speed of it all. Out your feet quick, whipped the shot in before the keeper could set, before the defence could set. And one of the things you said there was quite important. They bent West Brom out of shape because they overloaded certain areas, and that bent West Brom out of shape, and that's why Zaha had time. And like you said, there were two Palace players over there.
There was indeed. West Bromwich Albion now with 10 men have to come back. Nice feet there from Grant. He's got Kravinovic with him. Kravinovic tries to come off this touchline, but it's blocked by Kouyaté. It's a throw to West Bromwich Albion, who are down to 10. 38th minute. Mateus Pereira got into he was fouled actually, in fairness, by Van Aanholt, but as he fell to the floor, lifted his feet into the lower abdominal area of Patrick Van Aanholt, and Paul Tierney saw it as a straight red. Originally gave a yellow, looked at it, reviewed it on the monitor, turned it into a straight red. So West Brom are down to 10 and trail by 2-1 here as they look to try and get in the game. Kyle Bartley down the line now, 4 yards shy of the dead ball line. Gallagher trying to get to the dead ball line, just tried too much there. Good work by Nathaniel Klein there just to see the ball out of play, but I think it's a corner.
He's done really well, Gallagher. He's tried to get past Klein. Klein's read it well, but he's just managed to nick it off. I think it was Klein or Kouyaté,
Yeah, he's done really well, Gallagher. He's turned it back against Kouyaté. I didn't see Klein's there, but a corner now. West Bromwich Albion set pieces with 10 men, possibly they'll have to make the most of them. A massive Poor Furlong telling you there. Here comes the swung in underneath the crossbar. A couple of heads there, but it's headed away nicely by the Crystal Palace defence, and Eze is
had to do it.
Yeah, he's a lucky man, because he could have got a yellow earlier on for diving inside the penalty box.
The thing about there, he had to do it because if Eze gets past him, they're off and running, and there's about 3 or 4 players who've made the run. So he has to. It's a taking one for the team. Had to do it.
Yeah, it's as I said though, it's taken one for the team, but what happens if he had got a yellow card for simulation earlier on?
Which he should have done, and the thing about it is, in terms of his decision making now, he's going to have to be on point, because if he makes another mistake, and he's always in and around the action,
And it was one of those moments where West Bromwich Albion had committed players forward.
Which is, I mean, it's weird to say it, but he showed a bit of maturity, read the situation well, realised I have to foul him. I cannot let him and the ball go past me.
There we are, ball is back with Cahill on the far side. Big shout in, Eyes of Gods comes in. Hello guys, enjoying your commentary so much. Listen to you guys on in Nigeria. Palace to win 3-1. Chance for ball back. Benteke's got his first goal in goodness knows how long. It's a great run by Patrick Van Aanholt. He's got down the right hand side of the West Bromwich Albion penalty area. He's gone to the dead ball line, clipped it back and stopping to head the ball past Sam Johnston is Christian Benteke. What a moment for Palace to go to 3-1 for Eyes of the Gods.
Fantastic play down the left hand side. You heard me say, oh, what a poor pass, because I actually thought, I think it's Jeffrey Schlupp who'd played it a little bit too fast, but too hard for Van Aanholt, but he showed pace of Usain Bolt to get there. And again, it's poor defending. If you look at Carl Barkley, where can the ball go? He's clipping it to the near post and he's let Benteke get there first. You must be reading that. You've got to be anticipating where that ball's going, and instead of actually going to attack it, he actually hasn't done anything. He's not done anything. He's allowed Benteke the easiest of chances to put the ball in the net.
Christian Benteke, we know he can score goals. He scored it with his head, admittedly only 2.5 feet off the ground and about 3 yards out, but it doesn't matter. Crystal Palace now, one would feel, are in an unassailable position, Paul.
Well, Palace should be saying we should fill our boots now. This is a game where we should be scoring goals.
Chance now for Schlupp, 24 yards out. West Brom on the retreat. Van Aanholt into the box, buys a shot in, deflected. Johnston just takes it as it loops towards his goal, and he just pats it down before coming out. Slaven Bilic has got a worry on his hands now. What does he do? It's stick or twist time for him. Does he go chasing, getting back into the game and risk a bit of a drubbing?
I don't think they could go chasing. I think what they've got to do for just 2 or 3 minutes is sit in. Is sit in and clear their heads before they go again. There's still half an hour to go. But if they try and force the game now, you know, I think Palace have just got so much pace and strength going forward that they cause problems for themselves.
Christian Benteke's first goal since he scored against Chelsea of all sides, so back in July, but it seems a while back for a centre forward. Chance now for Bartley to come forward for Phillips. Phillips now comes in off this touchline. Little step over. He's got past 2 in fairness. A little bit of static defending, I would say, there by MacArthur and Zaha, who allowed him to run, but the offside flag has gone up for one of the West Bromwich Albion players just on the edge of the Crystal Palace penalty area. But Roy Hodgson, are we pleased with that? And there is a change now, as in Callum Robinson is coming on for West Bromwich Albion, so looks as though Slaven's going to try and do it. He's seen enough at the top of the park from Carlin Grant, but it's still going to be the same system.
Yeah, he can't do it. I mean, there's not much more Carlin can do, really, and Robinson will probably find the same thing. He's probably better on the ball, probably better running with the ball and taking players on than Carlin Grant, but he's going to see the same thing. It's going to be a lot of work without the ball, closing areas down, and really not many, sporadic attacks, I should think.
MacArthur up to the halfway line, plays it out to the left as Palace attack the goal away to my right. Benteke trying to run in behind Semi Ajayi. Sam Johnston, though, gets on the end of that long pass and plays it out. MacArthur goes back to Cahill. Cahill's ball forward from Crystal Palace centre half is wayward and out of play. West Bromwich Albion trailed by 3-1. 2 goals in his second half. A superb finish from Wilfried Zaha on 58, and then just 55, I should say, and then just a minute later, Benteke stooped to head the ball in after a terrific ball back from Patrick Van Aanholt, who atones for being a little bit asleep for the goal that West Bromwich Albion equalised with. Half asleep, I see.
Fast asleep, I'm saying.
There we are. A little jig down the line by Ray Lewington as Palace got their third goal. Kruvinovic, crossfield passes loose, picked off by Nathaniel Klein. Chance to run forward, flicks it with the outside of his boot. Down the right goes Wilfried Zaha, faced up by Phillips, tries to turn it in behind Phillips, but it gives it straight to him. He plays it straight out to Jeffrey Schlupp. Schlupp is on the edge of the 18. The ball breaks to Iberechi. Ise, he's into the box, faced by two, steps inside one, he's coming back out of the box, he's on a mazy run. Where he'll end up, nobody knows, but Klein passes it to Zahar. Zahar's right side of the penalty area, and he's trying to twist and turn with Sawyers and Bartley for company, and in the end it's good work from those two. They just managed to make the ground diminish between him and the dead ball line. He takes it and play for a goal kick to West Bromwich Albion.
And you see West Brom give the ball away again because they're trying to pass it. They've not got a target up front because everyone's coming back to defend. For me, I think they have to be direct in those times. They cannot try and pass the ball out of their area because they're a player less, and they just encourage Palace on.
Isn't that going to be tough though, Paul? Isn't that going to be tough if you try and go direct, which I'm anticipating back to front ball, you go from defence to your forward. One, that's got to be accurate. Two, your midfielders have then got to bust to get up alongside the man at the top of the park.
Yeah, that comes with the territory. I mean, it's very difficult work for their midfielders as it is, which is why I think that's what he brought on in Krovinovic, another midfielder, so he can keep the ball and pass it better. But that's not been happening.
Kyle Bartley into the feet of the man that comes short, Callum Robinson, back to Bartley. Bartley out on this near side, which is a left, and Matt Phillips. Phillips back to Bartley. Bartley goes back to the halfway line where he finds Ivanovic. Pops it in forward, 10 yards into the feet of Roman Sawyers, who just gets clipped by Christian Benteke and goes down.
See, if you see there, Roman Sawyers has got three Palace players around him. There is no West Brom player he can pass to. He's looking, which is why he nearly gets the ball nicked off him, because he's having to go and beat players to be able to find some space or find someone, and that's not going to happen most of the time. He'll give the ball away there most of the time.
It's a free kick to West Bromwich Albion, dead centre. If you take a line from goal to goal, as Gaeta looks out of his penalty area, it's about 3 yards inside from the lip of the centre circle as West Bromwich Albion attack their favoured end here at the Hawthorns, and they need to find a way back in, and a set piece possibly is the only real chance they have. Open play could be difficult. They're 3-1 down. Short pass though from Gallagher, and it's now knocked in by Bartley. Flicks off the head, headed back across the face of goal, and in the end it's nobody gambling inside, and Gaeta's made a little drop and then a little...
I don't know what he was thinking there.
He went to do a waist-high volley as keepers do. He dropped it and then had to hit it on the half volley. In fact, had a nice man as well, but it's Palace breaking away on their left-hand side. Van Arnholt inside to Ise midway inside the West Bromwich Albion half. His ball is behind Nathaniel Klein, who goes back 2 or 3 yards to pick it up, turns and faces, got plenty of time to play it right-hand side to Zahar and Ise exchanging a couple of passes before it goes into Luka Milivojevic. Milivojevic square to James MacArthur. He's going and looking left-hand side. It will be out to Patrick Van Arnholt, who's level with the 18-yard box of West Bromwich Albion, into feet of Benteke, who tries to play it to Ise. Ise gets it in. Benteke bludgeons his way through, but the ball is popped out from the West Bromwich Albion defence, picked up by Milivojevic. Now it's Zahar, rolls it into the feet of Milivojevic, who continues his run. His little back heel isn't good enough, and Kyle Bartley will put the ball out of play for a corner under pressure, but it seems a bit easy for Crystal Palace. They are making that man advantage count.
Of course, and they're moving it quicker. I mean, a bit too intricate at times. I'm thinking Kyle Barker should put that in the stand for a throw-in, or knock it off Milivojevic, not just put it out for a corner. Bit of panic there, but again, they're moving the ball quickly, trying to be too intricate a little bit. Sometimes get out of your feet, put the ball in, and open West Brom's defence.
Johnston looks at a goal away to my right. He looks out to his left. It's Milivojevic with this corner. In it goes. Strong header away by Kyle Bartley, but straight back to Milivojevic. Lays it down to the dead ball line. Zahar, can he get the cross in? Great cross in again. It's Kyle Bartley that heads the ball away, only as far as Milivojevic, who clips it all the way back to the halfway line as Palace decide to set and try and stretch West Bromwich Albion. Klein first time ball to check Kouyaté. He lifts a little ball forward and to his left to Ise. Ise infield to James MacArthur. Milivojevic dead centre of the West Bromwich Albion half, who are struggling here. West Bromwich Albion down to 10 and trailing by 3-1 in the first of 4 big games today. Give and go. Ise's into the box. Can he get the finish? Zahar's there. It is indeed a finish. It's rather easy in the end. A little bit of intricate play there by Ise and Benteke. Give and go on the edge of the box. Ise then stepped inside his man, went to shoot, but it fell nicely before he could shoot to Wilfred Zaha, who just toe poked the ball ball past Johnston for 4-1. It's looking easy now for Crystal Palace.
Yes, and that was good play. All about Iberichese, wasn't it? Decent 1-2. Gets it out of his feet, plays it in, gets it back, drives in, beats Barkley. Could have done it himself, but it comes to Zaha. Still got a bit to do because I think there's a couple of West Brom players on the line, but puts it in the net. And now, you know, Palace can go for it. This is about 5s and 6s. This could be a difficult, because there's still a long time to go, and it's up to Palace really what they do. West Brom now are going to have to sit in, and it's damage limitations for them.
It really is. That was too easy. If I could, you know, from a defensive point of view, give and goes, yes, they're tough to sometimes be able to take it, certainly in and around the edge of your 18-yard box or in your 18-yard box, but hang on there, that was slicing. That was a hot knife through butter, really, wasn't it? That was too easy. Yeah,
it was, you know, you have to be honest, that was far too easy. And they need to just now sit in and try and defend just that little bit better.
Ivanovic getting a little bit caught out there, but they've hooked it away from their 18-yard box. Sawyers tries to play a ball forward to Robinson, but it's cut out by Klein. Palace, you know, as a player, you know when a side are on their knees, don't you?
Yeah, and you know what? Go and score. Go and make hay. Go and get on with it. You know, go and, you see, what you've got to do is you've got to be ruthless. You've got to go to the 5th and the 6th and the 7th. You've got to go and do it. Got to go and do it. It sounds really cruel, but, you know, goal difference will make a difference for some. And why not? If you've got the opportunity to score some more goals, then get on with it. Go and do it.
They don't come around very often,
they
so
don't.
make hay while the sun shines.
Exactly. This opportunity does not come around often.
Good work there by Eze. Gets the ball away on the far side from Ajayi. Clips a lovely ball over the top. In behind Darnell Furlong. This time it's James MacArthur. 6 yards shy of the dead ball line. Rolls it back out. The man that comes onto it is Milivojevic. Square inside to Eze. Eze will go square now to Klein. Klein, straight ball in, looking for Christian Benteke. Just a word on Christian Benteke. He scored a goal, but combining well now with Eze.
Yeah, he's confident, because he's got his goal now, and like I said, the whole thing is different for him right now.
It is certainly, the confidence is flowing, and the work rate is certainly up from Crystal Palace.
Well,
they
helps having 4 goals.
Yeah, I stating the obvious, I know, but all of a sudden they want to try runs in behind. This time it's Schlupp that's into the box, wide of Ivanovic, who just sees Schlupp put the ball out of play. But the old man from Chelsea there, Branislav Ivanovic, he's a lot younger than me, I have to say.
36, I think.
Yeah, he is indeed.
Does a good job, but difficult one today. I'm expecting Palace to put some subs on now, make some changes, rest some players. See, when you get to this sort of stage in a game, it's now looking ahead to the other games. So if you can rest as many players now that the game is over, what you give those who are coming in an opportunity to score some goals, to show the manager they should be in the side, all of these things, you know, that you can do now. So the game's over. I see no point in carrying on with these players. Give them a rest.
Yeah, you don't need a needless injury now, don't you?
Exactly.
You don't need a hamstring here. Semi Ajayi was being screamed at to go home to Sam Johnston, but he elected to go forward, and in the end they were proved right, because he's ended up putting the ball out of play on the far side. It looks like Michy Batshuayi is about to come on for Crystal Palace.
Yes, Jara Reedwell.
Yeah, sorry, I was confused.
Midfielder.
Yeah, an attacking midfielder as well. Scored a goal this season. Certainly will be looking for it. James MacArthur, his 30-year-old legs, will go and have a little bit of a rest, get out of the rain, get yourself dry. But it's been a strange game, I suppose, really. Normally you would sort of say, well, West Bromwich Albion are down to 10 men, that's a pivotal point, but it wasn't, was it, really? Palace were a goal up. They always looked the more likely side up until that point. West Bromwich Albion had worked hard to get themselves back into the game, but since then, those goals from 2 from Zahara, 1 from Benteke, not unsurprising, and not just down to the sending off.
Well, I don't know. I think a lot of it is down to the sending off, because of the way they got back in the game at West Brom. You kind of thought, do you know what, it was a good bit of play, good finish, towels are up, but the sending off has made a difference, because Palace normally are not a great possession-based side, but they've actually made it count today.
Well, I always felt that there was more threat from Crystal Palace, even though West Bromwich Albion had worked hard to get themselves back.
I would agree with that.
And you know, when it's come down to it, yes, Pereira's been a silly boy, got himself sent off, and West Bromwich Albion have been a man down, but some of the finishes have been exquisite from Crystal Palace, and they've worked really hard. I suppose I could concur that there is a degree that sending off. I don't like being proved wrong. Anyway, but you're the man, you know it. Anyway, here comes Eze going forward. What's he going to do? He's going to look for a Van Arnholt. He's out by the edge of the 18-yard boxes, and his ball in is cut out, but Conor Gallagher is completely flattened by Luka Milivojevic, which is just as good because it looks as though he'd lost control of the football.
Yeah. And it's that bit there. When they win it there, Milivojevic comes in and tries to win it there. That's what they've been doing all game. As soon as they lose the ball, they're snapping back to win it back.
Another change as well. It is
Schlupp, I think.
It's Jeffrey Schlupp that's going to be rested, and Jordan Ayew's coming on, so they are going two up top here. We saw Readabout come on. I didn't actually say, it's James McCarthy that went off.
Yeah. Don't need a holding mid. They don't really need two holding midfielders in there. They really don't. They can play with Milivojevic, and then the rest can be sort of attack based.
And it is attack based if you look at it now. Jordan Ayew, Christian Benteke, Wilfried Zaha, Iberechi Eze, and Yaro Readabout, as we know, can score goals as well. That's a pretty potent. That sends out a message to Slaven Bilic saying,
if they've gone to 4-3-3, I think.
Yeah. Kravinovic steps away from Kouyaté quite nicely, but can't quite keep the ball under control. Gets the ball into the box, but is behind Callum Robinson. Van Arnholt's there to tidy up. He's gone for a heavy touch. He's managed to keep it in play. Finds Jordan Ayew midway inside his own half. Infield now to Milivojevic. Out on the far side to Yaro Readabout, who just gallops out. A little short pass forward and a give and go with Eze still exchanging passes. In the end, they've got a little bit too lax, and they've allowed West Bromwich Albion to shut them down. But Iberechi Eze twisting and turning really well. He's done exceptionally well.
Love the way he moves with the ball.
Yeah, he's done really well. Glides across the turf. And
you know what? He's quicker than you think. His stride length is very good, and he's quicker than you think. He's very deceptive. He looks like he's float, but he doesn't look like he's really moving at pace, but he drifts away from players effortlessly.
He's got a good stature to him as well, doesn't he? Yeah. You know, he's got to be 6'2", and he can use all that stature as well. He just plays the ball to climb back to Eze, and he's somebody that loves, dare I say it, as most people do, when he gets a bit of space, he loves it. He can make his choices as whether to go and attack the man, which he can do really well, or whether he can just pick a pass. He's got it in his locker. Little lofted ball up this time. It's headed away by Ivanovic. Roman Sawyers can't get it under control, and it is Milivojevic that sends it all the way back. 76 on the clock. West Bromwich Albion 1. They're down to 10 men. Mateus Pereira off on 38. Crystal Palace 4, but that doesn't really mean that it was all down to the sending off, although it was only one apiece at that point. Crystal Palace have always looked attacking and more threatening, and they looked as though they had more armoury on the field of play, even when the sides were level, but they've made it pay since they've gone down to 10 men. West Bromwich Albion under Slaven Bilic will be looking at this, and they'll want a little bit of damage limitation, and they'll also want to look with those games coming up with the likes of Liverpool looming as well to try and get themselves more resolute. Jordan Ayew trying to take on Gallagher into the feet of Benteke. Little give back to Benteke. Benteke now to Van Arnholt. Benteke going down the left like a left winger, clipped in towards the West Bromwich Albion penalty area, and indeed into the box, but Ayew can't get there, and Semi Ajayi puts it away. It is a tough one, because if the Baggies fans were in today, and they're not, because this is in the third tier, so there's no fans in at all, they would be... This will have quite a mental imprint on their season for them. This is a side in and around them in the league, and to lose 4-1 at home, you can't put it all at the feet, because, as I said from the start of this game, I've always felt that Palace looked the more...
Do you know what? You're right. Palace did look the more likely, but, you know, when a team lose a man, that makes it even harder for them, and slightly easier if Palace get it right for Palace, and that's basically what's happened. I mean, if you look at the goals that have been let in, I mean, you know, Zaha's won, 2 Palace players were spare.
Yeah.
You know, and at the time where, you know, come to the 4th goal, and defensively they were all over the place, West Brom, and that is a consequence of having to work harder because you're down to 10 players. So I would say that the sending off has made a huge difference, because, no disrespect, Andrew, it was 1-1 when he got sent off.
Yeah,
4-1 now.
All right, okay. Paul Moore.
I'm just putting the point.
You're not. You're slapping me down.
I'm just saying. Listen. You asked me for my opinion. That's all I'm doing. I'm giving you my opinion. Yours is wrong, but I'm giving.
Right, that's you off the Christmas card list. Okay. No, you are quite right. I was just trying to wriggle out of a deep hole that I dug with that digging machine that I've got there. But it is certainly a point here that when the sides started playing, it was one apiece. Pereira goes off, and that has changed the game.
Do you know the disappointing thing for me with West Brom is at 1-1 you've got something to hold on to. And I just think the ease at which they've given that up is what gets me. I mean, you have to change the way you're playing, and they haven't changed. They're still playing like they've got 11 men, and that's the bit I don't quite understand. You have to change. You have to become far more defensive. But they're still open. The pitch is far too open. There's when you've got a man less, you cannot be as open as West Brom are.
Yeah, I concur with that as Sawyers takes it towards the Crystal Palace penalty area. I'm going to come back with something in just a moment. Gallagher out on the far side, finds Darnell Furlong, who clips the ball into the Palace box over the head of Kravinovic. Klein's loose touch almost allows Matty Phillips to get in, but Klein comes away with the football. Zahar now. Lovely skill there to get away from Carl Bartley, but in the end it breaks to Phillips. Phillips now trying to drive towards the dead ball line. He's got Zahar on the floor, and he goes back to Kravinovic, who tries to curl it from the corner of the penalty area, but it's high and over the top of Vincent Gaeta's crossbar. Yeah, agreed, absolutely agreed, going back to your point there that there is another couple of changes to come, and this time going on is Roman Sawyers is coming off, and Dara O'Shea, the young Irishman, is coming on for West Bromwich Albion, and it looks as though there could be another change for Crystal Palace in just a moment. But going back to your point, that I saw West Bromwich Albion at Manchester United a couple of weeks ago, and I thought how unlucky they were to come away with nothing. I thought they had a little bit more fire, but when you saw their lineup today, and you looked at the top of the park, and you looked at their goal scoring records, you just I always felt that Palace possibly, if they got it right, had too much on the field of play.
Without a doubt. I mean, you could see Palace had far more pace and strength and threat going forward. But, West Brom are decent on the ball. And Palace, for all that threat going forward, are very much hit and miss at times.
Yeah, agreed. I concur with you 100% there. The ball is back on. Mitri Batshuayi is on for Wilfred Zaha. He's been denied the chance for match ball by his 73-year-old manager Roy Hodgson. And in fact, when he walked off, looked a little bit perplexed as to why he was being removed. But he hasn't played a lot of football recently, so I expect it's save your legs.
He's been ill. So no, as far as I'm concerned, have to save him from himself. He's had COVID, hasn't he? So he's been ill for a while. Save him from himself.
Loose ball there. Chance for West Brom to break forward. Gallagher, though, is thwarted by Chet Kouate on the D of his own penalty area there. Kouate then sees the ball go out to Van Arnholt. And now Iberechi Eze is going to take on Darnell Furlong. Darnell Furlong is still watching, but has to track the run of Van Arnholt. And now it's Kravinovic and Eze that are locking horns just outside the penalty area of West Bromwich Albion. Goes back some 10 yards to Milivojevic, back to Chet Kouate inside the centre circle on the West Bromwich Albion side. Then it's Klein to Jordan Ayew. Ayew goes infield, and then on the overlap is Klein into the feet of Batshuayi. Benteke back to goal, spins, turns, 5-1, 17 yards, and Christian Benteke with 2 goals in a game. And he done really well there, let it run across his body, had his back to goal, 17 yards out, came in from his left, he span onto his right foot and fired it low past Sam Johnston for 5-1. It's dispirited West Bromwich Albion, it's a buoyant Crystal Palace.
Yes, it's far too easy. I mean, Benteke's got a player behind him, a defender there, who should block that shot. And it's Ajayi. It's far too easy. No one's close enough. The midfield aren't there either. You'd think they'd lost 2 men. It's just too easy. I mean, he miscontrols that, to be truthfully honest, Benteke, which should give a defender a chance to get back and block it, but it doesn't happen. And their heads are down without a doubt, but you've got to be saying damage limitations. We don't concede any more goals, but the scoring probably isn't even finished yet.
Possibly not, but I'm going to say something to you now. I'm going to ask you a question.
No.
Dennis Bergkamp. Was that miscontrol all those years ago, or was that just sublime at Newcastle?
With Dennis Bergkamp?
Yeah.
Who's done that before?
But I'm
lost for words. Dennis Bergkamp was a technician. There was a clinical aspect to his touch and his control, you know, and for you to even go there, I'm not even going to answer it. I'm not going to.
Miscontrol was. Anyway, chance on. He was a great footballer, master technician.
Yeah,
great
don't backtrack now. Don't backtrack now.
That was miscontrol. That was miscontrol. Kravinovic going forward now towards the Crystal Palace penalty area. He puts it high into the stand behind Gaeta's goal. It was miscontrol. No two ways about it.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, listen. As far as I'm concerned, I've seen Dennis Bergkamp drop so much skill. I'd question that. I'm from the Dennis Bergkamp school. I'd question that.
Listen, I go back to the World Cup. Dennis Bergkamp, he should have been sent off before he scored a goal against Argentina in one of those games as well. You know, and I also he had a little streak in him as well.
Are you going to say, well, Maradona should have been sent off before the hand of God? Are you going to say that too? Are you going back that far?
I go back so far that it should never be a goal when we scored against West Germany in the '66 Cup final. Let's have a quick word here. I've got Edem on there. Too bad and unfortunate for West Brom and the red card. Palace need to respond. A response for their recent poor form against small opponents. Your commentary, on the other hand, is joyful to listen to. Listening live from La Paz in Ghana. Nice to have you along. Fellow Ghanaian Jordan Ayew on the field now. Can he get himself a goal in what is turning into be a Crystal Palace rout? Ayew back to climb inside the West Bromwich Albion penalty half, I should say. Played forward to Batshuayi, whose first touch allows Bartley to take it off, and Bartley, true West Bromwich Albion captain style, bundles his way forward, and a little triangle for West Bromwich Albion with Gallagher and Callum Robinson is ended by a superb challenge from Jordan Ayew on the halfway line. Plays it to Milivojevic to Eze back to Milivojevic, now to Jordan Ayew. We're into the 86th minute. It is West Bromwich Albion 1, Crystal Palace 5 here. First of 4 games this afternoon, and there's some big ones coming up, but will they match this 6-goal feast here? Driving forward again is Eze on the edge of the box. He just seems to effortlessly
just glides past people like they're not there. It's a wonderful thing to watch.
It is indeed, and those players that do that, you often wonder why people can't stop them, but it's difficult.
Yeah, exactly right.
You know, back in the day when people just used to swivel the hips and drift away from things, you'd be sat at home thinking, why didn't they just get a good old-fashioned tap?
Yeah,
you can't read it.
Can't, because you can't get near him.
No.
And that's what he does. He's very, very good, very good.
I've heard a lot about your hips when you were a flying winger. But that was
I wish they worked that way now, I'll tell you that much.
They'll be okay once they've been replaced.
Exactly right.
Going forward, West Bromwich Albion now have the ball. Seems Christmas has come early for Christian Benteke. Can't remember the last time he scored. It was July. That's from Twiggy. So nice to have you along as well. Don't forget 4 big games coming up. The next game's an absolute corker as well, in fairness. We've got the Crookmeister, Alex Crook and Dean Hammond, about to describe us winless Sheffield United. And I know Chris Wilder well. He will be seeding. He'll want that win on there against Brendan Rodgers' inconsistent Foxes.
Yeah, they're weird. Yeah, they're weird, Leicester, aren't they? I mean, they could go and beat Sheffield United 4-0 or get beat. It's just they're so inconsistent and up and down at the moment.
Well, he's got a good squad there, Brendan Rodgers, as well. He shouldn't really be that inconsistent. And then after that, you've got the North London bragging rights coming on for you. That should be an absolute corker this afternoon. But we know how that one's going to go, because we have been told by @P Morts that Tottenham are the better side. So any Arsenal fans out there,
that means Arsenal are going to win, by the way.
The old double bluff. And of course, the final game is champions Liverpool against Wolves. Tom Rennie and David Connolly, whilst Tim Long and Kevin Watson take you through the Tottenham-Arsenal clash this afternoon. We're not finished here. 3 minutes plus time to be added on here at the Hawthorns, but I can quite safely say one of the only things I'm going to get right today, that Palace will win this match because they're 5-1 up. Deny me that.
You could be right, yeah. I mean, Yeah, I can believe that. Possibly. Ish.
Anything can happen.
Well, you know, football's a funny old game, as someone far more clever than me said many years ago.
And what a goal scorer that man was as well.
No doubt.
I watched the documentary of him. I've watched it a couple of times now.
He'd have been a superstar now, by the way.
Oh, just unbelievable. There we go. Jimmy Greaves, the great James Greaves. What a player. Right from day one. Just had that ability. And you can't, once you're born with that, you're born with it. Oh, loose challenge by Luka Milivojevic there as Matty Phillips tries to get on the ball inside the centre circle. Milivojevic gets himself a yellow card, and I
thought he'd been booked earlier, but he hadn't. He committed a poor tackle earlier, but he hadn't been booked earlier. I thought he had done. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
That's not far off of.
I wonder if VAR are going to have a look at that. That's a ridiculous tackle. It's nowhere near the ball. Absolutely nowhere near the ball.
That's a little bit of I told you I'd get you back. You know, that's quite late there. Phillips tries to slip the ball in behind Van Arnholt, who cuts it out. He was looking for the run of Darnell Furlong, who I thought has had a good game, and Phillips for West Bromwich Albion, but the rest of the side have been let down somewhat by the little Brazilian, who went off on 38. But Palace have made hay while the sun has shone here. Benteke and Batshuayi try and exchange passes, but the little give and go lacked a little bit of pace and allowed West Bromwich Albion to drive forward. And the man that's going forward is Captain Fantastic for West Bromwich Albion. Carl Bartley finds himself in midfield. He's just about everywhere, but that's not going to help his defensive partners, is it?
Because I'd rather him be defensively and in the defensive area, to be truthful. I mean, I look at it and yes, you're down a player, but at this level you shouldn't be shipping 5 goals. I really don't think you should be. I think you should be sitting in, you should be making yourself difficult to beat. But at no point have they done that. They've tried to play and go head to head with toe-to-toe with Palace, trying to play open and expansive football.
The second goal, though, was the one, because needless to say, they are hanging their hat on something. They've got something to hang on to. They're down to 10, but the ease of which Zaha was given the space to double up on the back,
just too easy.
And then after that, it's just been a case of, well, we don't really know what to do. We can't get into this game. We can't get back into this game. We don't seem to have the firepower or the control of the football. And from there on in, it has just been a processional march to the final whistle.
And their heads have dropped. I mean, again, as I said to you at half-time, the first goal was going to be huge. The first goal in the second half was going to be huge. If it went to Palace, but if West Brom could have made them really work for it and frustrated them, maybe it would have been slightly different. But once they scored that early, and the ease at which they scored, you know, the possession turned up and it was all over very, very quickly.
We've got 3 additional minutes to be played. We are into the first of those 3 additional played at the end of the game. Paul Tierney will be looking. Crystal Palace will be hoping they can maybe just eke another goal-scoring chance out and take it. West Brom will be hoping for the final whistle to disappear down the tunnel, take what's going to be coming their way, and expect an apology from Mateus Pereira, the man that was sent off when the score was 1 apiece. But 2 goals from Benteke, 2 from Zaha in the second half has made it a nice polished performance for Crystal Palace. Breaking into the Palace box though, shot right across the face of goal from square. Oh, the best shot that's saved by what was it? Van Arnholt almost passed it into his own net. He got back, he had all the time in the world, but Gaeta was there with a strong right foot. Ibarrechi Eze has glided past Semi Ajayi on the far side, but run into Kravinovic on the other way. But that ball in across the face of goal from Callum Robinson almost caused consternation for Van Arnholt.
Well, I'm looking at Callum Robinson and I'm thinking, you kind of, this is about match intelligence. You kind of know that you're up there by yourself. So I can't work out why you're putting the ball across the box. There's going to be no one in there. There's going to be no one in there.
Absolutely. Anyway, the ball is with Kravinovic. And then it goes further out. Robertson out. Cross comes in from Furlong. Oh, that's uncomfortable defended by Kouyaté, because he's managed to slide goalwards and get it off his inner thigh across and wide of Gaeta's post. It's a corner to West Bromwich Albion late here in time added on.
And it's good play from West Brom, actually. Inside back, gone wide. Good first time crossing. But yet again, because a lot of their players want the ball to feet, none make runs. So there's no one in the box.
There we go, corner coming in. Gaeta, goal away to my left, looks out to his left-hand side. And the corner comes in. It's dinked high by Matty Phillips, and winning it actually was Carl Bartley, but he's headed it on the way down, and therefore it's gone up and over the crossbar with no real threat to Vincent Gaeta. You know, quickly summing up things for Slaven Bilic. what happens next? What does this say to him? What does he learn about his squad?
Well, he learns that when they go a man down, they struggle to play and defend and learn. They've got a lot of work to do. There's a naivety about the way they play. You go down to 10 players, the first thing you do is make yourself difficult to beat. Simple as that. That's the first thing you do. 2 banks of 4 in front of the goalkeeper, 1 up front. Make yourselves difficult to beat. But they just haven't done that. They've played open and they've played like they're a team on top. And you know, Palace just waited, won the ball, and went off and scored goals. And it's just been far too easy this second half.
For Roy Hodgson, he'll come away with 5 goals in his back pocket, you know, as the ball goes forward with Kravinovic. But I think this is Palace maybe just allowing the football to be knocked around. They know we're into time added on at the end of time added, and ball into the box headed away by Cahill. For Roy Hodgson.